All right, good morning, everybody. Should be up and running. It looks like we're live on Restream. Good morning, chat. Good morning, Mop, Chris, Totalus, John, all the usuals. Akash, good morning. Man Mahindra, thank you for all the links that you had sent. As we look at this blood red market today, you know what I'm reminded of? Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. I think we have a lot of Simple Jacks today, guys. There's a whole bunch of Simple Jacks running all around all over the place today. And when I say that for one of many reasons. I say that for the fears of the Colombian trade war that's already over. I say that because people think that DeepSeek is the next wonderful. This is the AI, guys, that's going to replace all the AIs in the US. We should just give up right now. There is DeepSeek that was trained off of $5 million worth of GPUs. Oh, wait, it was actually 50,000 NVIDIA H100s. But not only that, it has amazing responses to questions, guys. Like, as you'll see here, if we ask it questions about a famous picture with a guy holding bags of groceries standing in front of a tank, this is called Tiananmen Square. It gives us a wonderful response. It says, the famous picture, oh, sorry, that's beyond my current scope. Let's talk about something else. So if you've ever really wanted to be behind the Chinese firewall and not get real answers to fucking questions, you have an opportunity right now to install DeepSeek on your local machine and get all of that. It's so exciting. This is it, guys. It's over for the United States. We're done. Just so you know, sell fucking everything. If you're Simple Jack. If you're Simple Jack, you should just run away right now. It looks like, I don't know, what's the dipshit's name on CNBC? I can't even remember anymore. He's such an idiot. Joe's off, unfortunately. But Simple Jack on CNBC seems to think that it's over. And you know what's weird? There are literally people. Well, I mean, it's open source. Could it be a Trojan horse? Yeah. I don't know. But I do know this. I know the Chinese government's lying to us again. I know that there's good programming behind this that was built off of the backs of a lot of great American companies. But I do know in the end, it doesn't even fucking matter. Don't be a Simple Jack. Nobody's going to be fucking integrating DeepSeek into their US-based products, which rule the world, okay? And it's fucking asinine. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy NVIDIA today. I really don't. I probably won't. I don't want more chips. ARM's get down almost 10%. NVIDIA's down almost 12%. This is just fucking ridiculous. I can't believe how stupid people are. But, you know, it takes some Simple Jacks in the market to make a market. So we just look past it. Tippy 2000, it won't tell me Xi is referred to as Winnie the Pooh. No, it probably won't do that, Tippy. If you want to get that, you're going to have to look towards somebody else. You're going to have to look. I mean, this thing actually, this thing is beyond woke, right? It's censorship 2.0. So we went from OpenAI, where he's going to tell you George Washington was a black man, to censor AI, where he won't tell you anything bad about China. And I'm sure if you talked, like, why is America so great? It would be like, because China is the backbone of America. So, I don't know, man. Again, I can't always attest to what's going on with the market and why it's going to do what it's doing. But, whatever. It is what it is. And you got to enjoy days like today. So, I'm going to try and figure out how I can capitalize off of that. I did post, did I pin it? I didn't pin it again. I got to pin it. I did post my latest. It took me forever. And I did it this morning. This does not include whatever's happening today. So I've got my portfolio in here. It showed 5.722. That's actually almost 200. It's like 180,000, I think, more than what I had during the previous run. I also, for full transparency, include the previous ones. So I'm about 2 weeks conservatively. I mean, over 2 weeks behind. I'm posting the last one, but whatever. It is what it is. But I do show the history so you can go throughout it and make sure I'm not full of shit. So we've got that going for us. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see how we were finding support on Bitcoin. I thought we were just going to break higher, but we did not. We got Colombia. We got DeepSeek. It's fun, right? It's good times. We're learning a lot today about how stupid human beings can be. Anyway, so I showed my updated portfolio allocation. I spoke to a few things in here. So my 9% cash position from the previous one is gone. I bought some Tesla Leaps. I bought MicroStrategy, MSTX, RG, Iron, Mara, CleanSpark, SoFi, FNMA, FMCC, SMCI, MU, Palantir, Trump Coin. I also bought BITX, about 100,000 in that. I didn't get it in here because I forgot to check a box. I check and uncheck boxes to not display them. Sometimes some of these things are so low, like 0%, I probably should have unchecked cash, and I should have checked BITX because I missed that one, but somebody called me out, so that was good. Gemini Knight got my trading account up from 170K to 210K. Congratulations. Alpha Finder, good opportunity to add if dips go further. I don't think dips are going further. I think it is a good opportunity to add, though. I do agree with that. And I'm glad I lowered my chip exposure last week for NVIDIA, AMD, and ASML. I wish I would have just unloaded all of it and put it into more Bitcoin-related investments. But hey, you can't get them all right. Yeah, and thank you again. So it looks like the Discord is up 122 people from 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago. That's great. And that's the slowest growing part right now. The Discord, I think, has tons of value. But again, some people just don't do Discords. I get it. What are we buying today? That's a great question. We should probably look and see. I mean, there's so many things down. Tesla's down 4%. I'm definitely going to, if the leaps are crushed, which I don't know if they're going to be, but if they're crushed, I'm going to look to apply some funds, take some out of the Tesla stock that I have, and add to leaps. MSTX or BITX today, I already have a ton of MicroStrategy exposure. Well, let me just look over here. So how much do we have? It's my second largest holding, and that's not even including MSTX. So MSTR and MSTX together are greater than Tesla. So I'm probably not adding more exposure to that. I'm just going to add probably to BITX from the Bitcoin front, and maybe some miners, but probably BITX. Because between miners, miners 7%, Mara another 4%, that's 11%, and then I think I have a few more in here. It doesn't show. Let's see, what am I missing? Oh, iron. Okay, so about 15, 16%. So I don't know. I'll probably add more BITX. It's just another way to diversify my exposure. What's my cost basis? I don't fucking know, man. I've made so much. This is such a hard thing to answer because I've locked in some of my gains, right? I bought MicroStrategy calls at the bottom of the bear market. I bought 2-year leaps. So, I mean, if I don't count that, it's probably not as good, but I probably should count that, right? But that's a long time ago, and I'm not going to do all the fucking math for that. So I don't know. The latest round, I guess I kind of do know, maybe, if I pull up Excel. I don't know. I'll take a look. Doesn't really fucking matter. William Stewart, Jesse, do you have any good video suggestions for a new trader to understand charts, making and analyzing them? Thanks, brother. I don't know that I have a lot of good ones. I should probably just, I don't know. I got to figure, how do you join Discord? You go here, op.com/micro to macro. I think that's it. If you click on it, it should have like a sheep and some other shit on it. Let's see here. Yes, that's me. All right, I do have it. So that's it. Watch out though, guys, because in chat, you get all these dipshits that are trying to scam you, and they'll be like, come to his private Discord, and it'll be a fucking different one. So just make sure you're in the right place. Platinum 4, Jesse, the deal with DeepSeek is how cheaply it was. It wasn't fucking cheaply created. It wasn't cheaply created. It blows my mind how willing people are to believe anything that China pushes out for propaganda. You even have people like Elon Musk laughing about the fact that it wasn't created for $5 million. Laughing. Right here. Laughing my ass off. No. So DeepSeek is now number 1 in the App Store. It was created with all this cheap shit. Mark, you take the claims that this was done with a shoestring at face value. Laughing my ass off. No. So I get that there's a bunch of armchair cowboys who seem to understand how all this stuff fucking works, but I'm going to trust Elon Musk over that and my own personal knowledge, which is probably greater than a lot of people. So, no, it wasn't. That's not the fucking breakthrough. It's bullshit. It's a fucking lie. Please don't make me repeat myself. Yes, they're easily manipulated. All it takes is a couple. And then there's, you know what astonishes me? How many people in the West, like Andrew Dorkin, want China to do better than the United States? I don't understand it. It's like they're fucking communists. I don't get it. He seems so excited today at the thought that we were falling behind and that China was leading. And I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Yeah, I have no doubt the PRC's behind a lot of it. Again, they want to give the illusion that China is doing better than the United States. If you want to believe that, you can. It's not going to serve you well. Even Warren Buffett, a completely different investor than myself, says over and over again that he made his fortune by betting on the United States of America. And now we have one of the, I would argue, the most powerful presidents in our history sitting here in power with people like Elon Musk at the helm alongside of him. And you're like, oh, hey, the socialist Colombia is going to take down America. And DeepSeek, the Chinese plant, is going to replace all of American industry and AI. They've passed us, guys. Jesus fuck. Unlike real estate, do you think AMD and NVIDIA will suffer more from the pre-market? I don't know. It depends on how stupid people are. And you can never underestimate the stupidity of people. If there's anything I've learned, there's that. Kevin, can't believe the market is considering the DeepSeek bullshit. It's trash. I know, but they do. And there's plenty of people that will propagate it. All the bears want to believe this, right? It helps their narrative. I had people today being like, oh, hey, all the pumpers like micro to macro are getting their ass handed to them today. It's like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You're so stupid. I don't know what to say. Morning, MicroStrategy, MSTR calls, but not TSL over Tesla. Yeah, I wasn't as lazy with Tesla calls as I was with MicroStrategy, Stevie. You caught me. Kosh 2000, buy the fucking dip, AMD. Amit, stupidity gives us opportunity, baby. Yes, it does. Man Mahindra, for 240 years, it's been a terrible mistake to bet against America. Warren Buffett. Thank you for the quote, my friend. Very, very timely. Alex Garcia, bought BITX and Tesla this AM. Tippy 2000, did you see JD Vance ripping on the face of the nation? Dude, there was so much good stuff over the weekend. We have a lot to talk about. We should probably get into some of it. CJ, the dips will be bought for at least another year on NVIDIA, in my opinion. CPU is the basis for the acceleration of research and development for innovation, which is everything ranging from advancement to efficiency and more. Dude, we're not going to be needing less data centers. I don't know if you guys have seen, and I don't even know if I posted this. I should probably dig it up. It was under Herbert channel, his channel, the Tesla guy, Asian dude. He was talking about he had a guy on there that was talking about the spending that's going to be done with Grok as we head into Grok 7 in 2026, and Grok is going to outpace everybody, starting with Grok 3 here in like a week or two. So it might even be at the end of this month. Still, that was the promise, right? So I don't know. No, this isn't slowing down, and we're still very much in the lead, okay? Especially since we're now going to be doing things that prevent China from being able to easily get access to 50,000 fucking H100s. What is your price target for Tesla to switch back from calls to stock? Good question. I don't know yet. But I have not quite a year and a half to figure that out. So I think that's plenty of time. Jesse, understood you sold off your chips. You planted to get, chips aren't as asymmetric for me, so they were always going to be a source of funds. So I have investments, guys, that I make where it's like, okay, I think this could do well, or it won't drop as much. And so I'll be able to use this as a source of funds if I need to, in order to be able to buy the other things that I love. And if I don't need it as a source of funds anytime soon, I think it can still do well, right? What are we doing to improve export controls for the H100s? I can't give you all the details right now. I'll try and throw out a post that covers it. But essentially, we're tightening the reins that were very loose under the Biden administration, probably because he was senile. and didn't know what the fuck was going on half the time and was signing things that he didn't even understand because the deep state told him to. But Colombia is getting hammered by the strength of the U.S. dollar. Socialist government will have a hard time funding all the promises. Oh, dude, they're really going to get hammered now. The drag. Did you guys see that? See him walking around? I don't remember if it was in Panama or where it was, but did you see the president of Colombia walking around with a known drag queen on a date? I wonder what his wife thought about that. So funny. BTC recovering. Yeah, it's up almost 10,000. Who could have possibly figured out that BTC would bounce here? Off because all this news is bullshit. Shocking. I want to hear Tom Lee's thoughts on DeepSeek. I don't know if he had any today. I was so busy running around, I didn't look. I'm sure he's going to parrot something close to what Elon Musk did. One of the most brilliant fucking somebody who actually has real world AI in motion. These chat bots are entertaining and they do good work, but man, I'm sorry, they don't compare in any way to my car, which is practically sentient, driving me all over the fucking place all the time without issue. Every time I've thought that my car was doing something wrong, it's always been me figuring out that it was me. Oh, hey, I didn't put in the destination. That's why it was going straight when I thought it was turning. That'll do it. This dump is FOMC related, isn't it? DeepSeek is only the narrative. I think, yeah, kind of, potentially. I think that people, I don't know why, but I think they're worried about the FOMC. I think they're worried about a verbal fight between Jerome Powell and Donald Trump. And I know I know which horse I'm picking in that race. Trump will bury Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell's job will be short-lived if he doesn't play along. SoFi dropping hard. That's because of the bank thing. Andrew Dorkin was talking about it today. Oh, you know what? Today was earnings, though. I didn't look at earnings. Let's go over here. Let's go over and see what's happening with SoFi. SoFi. I know I got invited over to... I do have SoFi, which sucks. I do have SoFi. So I missed some of the chip drop, but I didn't miss this. Down 15%, almost 16% in the morning. Earnings were great, but slow growth. Bad guidance. Guidance will get you. It's not what you did, it's what's coming up. And now this sucks. Yeah, this sucks because this will kind of implement a ceiling on SoFi most likely. Because on the weekly, you were already much lower than the previous, 85, 86 high. So this hammered down SoFi pretty fucking good. This will be rough on SoFi now. I don't know what their guidance was, but this will be rough. So down 16% on that shit today. Good job, SoFi. I will never financially recover from this, Tiger King. Thanks for the quote, Kane. Oh, God. All right. Well, I'm sorry people are down on SoFi today. Covering Tesla earnings? Fuck yeah. That one I wouldn't miss. Been listening to Thirsty, folks. Congratulations, you've received 100 messages. Oh, hey, yay. Dude is crushing it. All right, this is fun. All right, let's keep going. So SoFi down 16%. That probably could be going better. Nice buys, Alex Garcia grabbing some BITX and Tesla. Those are the ones I'm going for. I'm not going for SoFi. Banks could still do good, and they can bounce back. I know Andrew Dorkin, in case you didn't hear it today on CNBC, he was picking out a comment, and I think the press is trying to run with it, where Donald Trump said that banks were going to take a hit. This was after the wildfire conference, or like a discussion that they had with the mayor, and I don't remember if Governor Newsom was there or whatever, where Trump had made a comment that they were going to take it to the banks, and I think what he meant by that was with interest rates on credit cards, making it to where they can maybe capping it. Now, if he caps it, you will have to have it to where people are aware of the options of secured credit cards. And really, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people. I'd say the bottom 20% of America should probably be on secured credit cards where they put in a couple $100, or maybe they get maybe there's a bare minimum credit card. I think what we should force is we should lower interest rates on credit card companies, and then I don't know if we should force it. That's a horrible term, but I do think that we need to make it easier access to like $300 credit cards. Like maybe a bank gives requires $150 deposit for them to get access to $300 credit limit instead of like for like. We should do something to help the bottom end of America get access to cards, but not everybody needs a credit card with a large balance because there's a lot of people that don't know how to fucking manage it, and they just get 30% interest rates and get absolutely destroyed. They don't know how to do what I do with credit cards, and so they shouldn't have them. Any thoughts on a firm? I don't know. They're probably worse than SoFi. How is self-driving this good in Tesla sub 4? Dude, do you have full self-driving? It is so fucking amazing. But, again, there's people that have to catch up with the truth. There always is. There always is. Did they really? People are so stupid. People are so stupid. If you sold the Mag 7 to buy Chinese stocks, here's another entertaining one, too, from Banana 3. If you didn't see this, he was just shitting all over DeepSeek. And he was just basically joking around that, yeah, guys, now America's bad with AI and China is the strong company and Trump's eggplant is now smaller than Xi's eggplant. It was really funny. Banana is a funny dude. I dig him. He's a lot better than I am in that regard, for sure. But again, in Holmar's catalog, also incredibly sarcastic. NVIDIA falls on news of model trained on NVIDIA chips. I love that so much. Dude, yeah, Hardware 3. I've got Hardware 3 on my wife's old Model 3. We ordered the new, Model Y. We ordered the new Y, so we're getting that edition, the launch edition. I'll be stoked for that. But even though I won't want to drive it because it doesn't have steer-by-wire. But the Hardware 3, the 12.6, is beautiful. That's like the streamed down, make it work for Hardware 3 version, and it's beautiful. It works great. But yeah, this is funny though. NVIDIA falls on news of a new model trained on NVIDIA chips. I just think that's fucking hilarious. Holmar is the man. Again, there's a bunch of people that are smarter than some of the people that are being listened to right now that know what's actually happening. We do have Perplexity AI revises TikTok merger. U.S. government could get a 50% stake. Now, I do have concerns with the U.S. government getting a stake of a social media profile. If they have a stake, they shouldn't have decision making on what happens with the application or the ability to be able to censor it. That would be my biggest concern. My biggest concern wouldn't be necessarily this administration, but what would the next administration do to control the company? So I don't love that. And again, Alexander Wang. So this guy, I was wrong in one of my posts. I put that he was from China. I probably just made an assumption. Not a good thing. But he is from Mexico, and I think he lives in the United States now, and he's the CEO of Scale AI. But he's the one that said that, hey, they're using 50,000 GPUs that are H100s. And he said DeepSeek is a wake-up call for America, but it doesn't change the strategy. The U.S. must out-innovate and race faster, as we've done in the entire history of AI. Tighten export controls on chips so that we can maintain future leads. Every major breakthrough in AI has been American. He's right. Wait, do you not own any BTC? Are you talking to me? I own a lot of BTC. I don't talk about my holdings in actual Bitcoin. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Smart people don't talk about that. This administration took out racial profiling. It's okay. Yeah, again, we're not going to be giving you a Harvard degree because you fit some racial persona. Like we're not going to promote you. You could be Simple Jack in Harvard nowadays, and if you're a black, gay, trans woman, you're probably going to get a degree. So that stuff is stopping right now, and that will be good for America. I hope people understand that. He's American, born in New Mexico. Oh, I thought it was Mexico. All right. Mexico, New Mexico, same shit, whatever. Manuel K. Opinion on cores, minor, but adapting their infrastructure to focus on upcoming AI development. I like Iron better. Cores already went bankrupt once. That tells me enough about the management of the company. They were the largest by hash rate, though, so they're really good at expanding out and then imploding. So they got that going for them. Mr. Cat, I give a very low approval rating for anything that a company does after they go bankrupt. It's just a rule of mine. Have you seen the Ledger co-founder kidnapping? Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, exactly, Martin. Don't advertise your Bitcoin holdings. Diversify them. Have them in a million different fucking strategies and places in order to be able to ensure that you don't have too much in any one. And never advertise. That's crazy. That's why I have assault rifles though, and that's why I don't give people my address too. Jose Lopez, hey Jesse, imagine what Trump is gonna think about seeing the U.S. stock market go down because of a Chinese AI app. He's gonna dump a bunch of money. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna put a lot of money towards it. I think he's gonna incentivize people to do that. He doesn't want the government to be paying anybody's bills. Buy an ARKG today. I don't know. Depends on how much it's down. Maybe. Why are stocks unrelated to AI crashing? Because people are retarded. The American Adventure, damn right. Lol, Suppressor is next on my list to buy. MB, one BTC hard wallet and separate hardware from private key on paper in 2 different safe locations per wallet. Smart. Yeah, you just want to make sure, that whatever you have is fireproof and resilient to all kinds of things. And I don't love hardware wallets that have Wi-Fi access. That's sketchy as fuck to me. So I don't have a lot, and I don't talk about my guns either. There you go. Boom. I don't have a lot, but I got some semi-automatics. So I could put a few holes in a lot of things, including my Cybertruck if I wanted to. The American Adventure. Whenever you come to Nash for the event, should come out for farm, can do some 1,000-yard shooting, etc. Too much fun. Yeah, that sounds fun, man. That sounds cool. We got to figure something out. If you're looking at Bitcoin, guys, we dropped to 98,000, and now we're at 101. Is that where we dropped at? That was the daily. Let me see. Yeah, 97, 98, something like that. So it's already bounced pretty hard. Capital One offers credit cards where you have to put down X amount to use it. They help. Yeah, secured credit cards. So I'm pretty good with credit. I don't know if I posted anything. Oh yeah, investment basics. Maybe I put it under that. Let me see here real quick. So I'm pretty good with manipulating credit. I actually had a thread where I talked about it. Let me see. I put it in here somewhere. I should probably mention that to you guys. Let me just double check something real quick though. Let me see what we're looking at for the calendar today. I don't want to get too distracted. I'm very, very squirrel today. Building permits down. Negative 0.7%. Perfectly predicted consensus and forecast. Exciting. Let's look at what else. We got Hong Kong. Bunch of lies about data. But we do see exports going down. So the good thing about Hong Kong is its lies are less pronounced than China's. Slightly. MSTR. Oh, we got an MSTR announcement. All right, let's go to that first. Let's get to our Michael Saylor announcement. And then we can move on. 11,000 Bitcoin. That's a big fucking number. Today announced the launch of STRK, a new convertible preferred stock offering available to institutional investors and select retail investors. Wow, MicroStrategy is so fucking smart. They're just diversifying their risk in so many different ways. And they were deleveraging by forcing convertible bonds. Like, they're just really smart. And I think he said he was going to start leveraging again, so we'll have to talk about that a little bit later. 450 trillion in bonds in the 20th century, only 1 trillion in Bitcoin. Michael Saylor discussing the banking system 25 years ago. Oh my God, he looks like such a pup. I'm going to retweet that one and check it later. How long is it? Oh, it's only 36 seconds. Let's just look at it and see what it says.
A bank stores information that people have about their personal wealth.
So quiet.
In order for a bank to work, we need to trust the banking system. And the way we do it is the government defines a currency. I can sell my pig and you can sell your land. Then I can trade all my assets for money. Money is information. I can put the money into a bank, and the banker is a database guy holding a ledger of everybody's name and their money and protecting their interest. And I have to trust the currency, because if I sell my pig for $10 and I got to buy it back for $100 next week, I'm not going to trust the markets. That's why inflation kills the banking system.
So you could tell this guy had a sound understanding of finance even way back in the day. Ryan R. says, I get a new 0% interest card every year just in case I want to take advantage of an investment opportunity. That's not a bad idea. I mean, so let me go back here to my thought. So we'll talk about more of that later. So I don't know if I have it in here, but my credit score went up a decent chunk, about 110, 112 points in a course of a couple of days. And people ask, so like, how do you do? Oh yeah, right up here. So people said, like, how do you do this? How do you go from like a 600 credit score to 727? And it should be 800 plus here in another week. And it's the way that I manage credit. So let me go back here. So somebody, J-Dubs asked this. And so he said, hey, what do you do? Like, tell your subs, what do you do? And I said, essentially, either my wife or I, since I'm married, one of us holds the majority of the debt, whether it's, and car loans and things are different. They're not as big of a deal. And I never get regular loans because, like, why would you? The interest rates are horrific on them. They're like stupid numbers. They're double digits at a minimum. For a lot of these things, even if you have great credit. So why would you fuck around with them? But with credit cards, you have the ability to be able to get 0% offers. And so I showed like NerdWallet in here. You can go and look at how many offers like this are available. And there's usually a ton of them. So it looks like right now, Discover has one for 18 months intro on balance transfer offers. You have to look and see what the fees are. A lot of the times they're between 2 to 3%. In some cases, they were climbing up to 4%. But if you're doing 18 to 21 months, you have to realize that it's not actually 4% that you're paying. If it's 18 months, it's more like 3%, right? Because you're going for longer than just a year. You're doing a year and a half. And if it's 21 months, almost 2 years, then it's even lower than that. So you can get loans that are like 2 to 3%. You can get loans that are like 2 to 3% interest if the fees aren't that high on them. And you can see over here, like we could just keep going down the list. I don't know what this Chase one offers. 15 months, not as good. Here's another one, 18 months for Bank of America. Here's another one, 18 months for Citi Cards. Here's another one. This is my preferred one, Wells Fargo, 21 months. That's a good one. US Bank, 18 months. I've used all these. And what I would do is I would apply all at once. And again, you need to manage, like I'm frugal, okay? I don't actually buy that much. I was worth over $7 million. I haven't even bought a new house. The house I'm living in, I bought for $102,000 fucking dollars. It's 2,700 square feet. So I'm frugal. I manage my money well. So, but if you're doing this to just spend a bunch of money, you're an idiot and you're probably going to go bankrupt. But if you want to, you can manage it to where you shift this debt back and forth, because the biggest impactor on your credit score, outside of not being delinquent, you should never be late on your credit cards. At least never over 30 days late, because that's when they report. So you want to be under that time frame. If you can miss something, get a fee, but pay that shit off right away. Never be late. I've never been late, outside of when I went bankrupt after 2008 great financial crisis for being a moron. But you can use these offers and borrow at 2, 3, 4% interest for a year, which is infinitely better than anything else. And if you get a 21-month offer, it's better. And if you apply all in the same day, they call it credit shopping. At least back in the day, it didn't impact your score as much. And because of that, they'll let you apply at a bunch of different places without fucking you. So that's what I would do. And we just rotate the debt back, every year and a half to 2 years, back and forth between each other. And one of us always has an 800 plus credit score. It's a great way to borrow if you need money. You want, like, at times where the markets have really been overextended and really, really low, I've used this to be able to buy dips and shift the debt back and forth until they went really high. It's one of the reasons I'm rich right now. It is the reason I was able to, it's the reason I was negative 46,000 in 2019, because I borrowed against credit cards about $100,000 plus to be able to buy Bitcoin when it was stupid fucking cheap, and Bitcoin derivatives when they were stupid cheap, Leaps, and like CleanSpark, Leaps, and Mara, Leaps, and MicroStrategy. And so it's one of the reasons I'm rich. If you apply it at the right time and you're good at managing debt, this is a technique that could treat you really well. Yeah, credit card rates here are really high, MB. They're really high here if you hold balances and you're not using balance transfer offers. I don't know if they have balance transfer offers in Europe, but this is a way for people in the United States to be able to manage debt at really low rates, but you got to make sure that you're going to be able to pay them off. It's better than using margin. Hell yeah, that's my whole point, right? Margin is the devil. This gives you years potentially to be able to repay the debt and pay lower amounts in the meantime. Yeah, MicroStrategy launched Strike. That sounds fucking crazy. It's smart. It's just another way for them to pull capital in. It's very brilliant. Yeah, it's probably harder to do in Europe. Is such shit. Tesla Q4 earnings can give your opinion. Are you going to cover it? I hope they go. I hope it goes down. I hope Tesla gets crushed on earnings. I doubt it, but I hope. I hope. They had a bunch of offerings, so maybe they'll go down from that. I would like to convert more stock back to options. So my bias is hoping that Tesla goes down and gets hurt on earnings. But yeah, I will cover it. We'll do the earnings. I'm just hoping it's a dip buying opportunity. Lofton 92 balance transfer. I thought was just transferring the balance to your checking. So there are ways to do. If you do a balance transfer offer, different credit cards do different things. Some of them make it to where you have to like input an account and do stuff online. You can't get a check. Others just give you a check. I want to say like Bank of America, you can request a check. Capital One, I think you can request checks. U.S. Bank might be harder to get a check. I can't remember. But they're all different. And so what you would do is you would look at them and see, okay, this is here's the ones that I'll use for my daily spending. And then I can apply some other capital that I would have had to use to that towards this. And here's the ones that are able to give me all the checks and allow me. And what I would do is if they give you a check, you would just write the check to your spouse. And then I'd put down paying bills. And then they're like, okay, good enough. And then one time, I can't remember if it was U.S. Bank or who it was. They're like, dude, this wasn't meant, we're going to charge you the balance transfer rate, or we're going to charge you a cash advance rate because this was for this reason. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I thought this was a balance transfer. That's why we did it. I chewed their ass. And then they're like, okay, we've switched it back to the balance transfer rate. Have a good day, sir. So, I mean, it's worked out every time for me. Bank of America and Chase give me checks, 0% for 12 months. Yeah, there you go. And if you have an 800 plus score, they'll give you all kinds of money. All kinds of money. Anyway, back to the stuff. So we have our next economic data point. We had one Chicago National Fed activity, or Fed National Activity Index is 0.15. It was forecast at 0.1. Jesse just wanted to say you're the man. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. I am happy to help in whatever way I can with whatever knowledge I have. So it's a little bit better than expected, but we were kind of in a trough. I don't know that there's much signal here. I hate these kind of charts where they oscillate back and forth. I like to see where we're headed. So I hate this kind of month by month, like up, down charts. They just don't tell you shit. I mean, what does this tell you? What does this really fucking tell you? That they're good at drawing a line and that the pandemic was a bad one, right? But like, there's not a lot of signal to be found in these kind of charts. I hate them. Regarding debt and leverage, isn't the only way to take advantage of equity portfolios to use take on low loan margin when wanting to use outside of the markets? I'm not sure what you're trying to say. I never use margin. I would never use margin. It's just a dangerous way to get fucked and get margin called, and then you're a forced seller. DeepSeek's parent company, High Flyer, is shorting NVIDIA. Oh yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure this is a great way to boost Chinese equities. It's going to be short-lived, though. It's going to be short-lived. So, yeah, next data points. 7:30, we got Chicago Fed National Activity. That was supposed to be now. Let me refresh. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, wait, that was that one that we already read. Bleh. And so we at 9, we have new home sales. That's really not much. And then at 9:30, we have Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. So that's probably going to be the juice right there. And the last read that we had on this, let's just look here. The last read was the first positive read we had since April of 2022. So we could dip back underneath that or test the zero line again, just because of the way that the numbers are going to oscillate. But if it continues to go up, and it shows that Dallas is still kicking ass in manufacturing, which again, the Texas region is probably going to be the region with these Fed numbers that's doing the best, then that'll be good for markets, I think. But who knows today? Who knows what people care about today? They're too fucking stupid with DeepSeek thinking that it's the best thing since sliced bread. Dario, if you're planning on enter leaps, are you considering the 330 strike for the 6/18/2026, or do you have? Nah, I'm just gonna stick with that one. I don't want to go much further up the risk curve. Oh, we got Leisman talking. Let's see what he's saying here real quick. I'm just gonna paste this up top, get it up here. He's got an outlook survey that might be interesting to hear. Let me go back here. Let me just go back a few. See what he has to say. So listen to that. Anyone buying NVIDIA today? Yeah, Rex is losing it. He's posting DCA high buys as bear signs. What? Rex? Rex Finance is getting weird? He was talking a lot of shit about MicroStrategy. Is he selling out of his CleanSpark yet? I don't know, man. Yeah, it was really strange. It seems like his ex-girlfriend's finding a way to hate on his new hot girlfriend. That's funny. All right, let me get back over here. Oh, I didn't hit the play button. That'll do it. One sec here.
.com.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. The National Association for Business Economics out with its latest survey. Steve Lee.
No, I don't have my new computer, so I still got some Windows that are crashed, but I get my new one in 2 days. 2 days, and so I just got to get that set up.
Eastman joins us now with the results. Steve.
Good morning, Andrew. Yeah, respondents to the latest NABE survey grew more confident in the economy over the next year and indicated less pricing pressure for now, though more expect to be hiking prices in the next 3 months. A warning sign, perhaps, for inflation. The first quarter survey from the National Association for Business Economics shows a significant drop in the recession outlook. 82% of respondents putting the probability of recession.
This is probably going to be a bad thing, guys. Since nobody expects a recession, we're probably going to get one. Blah, blah, blah. And, oh my God, inflation. They're raising their inflation. You know what? If people are raising their expectations, and there's something that people need to understand, okay? There's different kinds of inflation expectations, right? Inflation at its root is the concern is the perpetual rate of inflation. It's not numbers go up for a short period of time and then they stop. That's not the threat of inflation. It's when the numbers go up and you're in a perpetual loop of numbers going up that there's a major concern. And if numbers are going up because the economy has short-term demand spikes and we're not creating a bunch of new money, then that's not real inflation. New money is what causes real inflation, real perpetual inflation. When you can't stop printing money and you're just printing and printing and printing and printing and printing and you can't service your debts, that's the fucking doom spiral, okay? It's not, oh, wow, we're doing so good now that the prices went up a little bit one time because of a short demand spike. The world must be coming to an end now because prices went up a little bit because the economy's too good. That is not the same fucking problem. Okay? It's not remotely the same fucking problem. We want the economy to do well and for there to be short demand spikes because people are doing so well that they're buying more of goods. That is not a bad thing. Now, if you have the doom loop from perpetual money printing from your government, that is. I hope people can understand the difference between the two.
At less than 25%. Last quarter, just 56% were that optimistic, and just 15% see the odds as greater than 1 in 4. Now, over the past 3 months, the net percent raising prices came in at 22, down CNBC's 11 points, but 35% saying they would be raising prices in the next 3 months. Got to watch.
See, this is the narrative, guys. This is the narrative CNBC wants to get out there today, is that we're super worried about people raising prices in the future. DeepSeek says Biden is still the president. Lol. Oh, people are getting... God, DeepSeek's so great, guys. You cannot find out about Tiananmen Square and get censorship just like you were in the CCP. It's amazing. Ugh. Fuck. People are so stupid. And they probably still think that, like, OpenAI deserves a $50 billion valuation. These same idiots. SoFi just announced they were ahead of their 2026 revenue CAGR guidance and reiterates their 55 cent to 80 cent EPS guide for 2026. Well, then it makes sense that they're down 16%. That totally makes sense. Oh, now they're only down 6. Jesus Christ. People are so stupid. People are so fucking stupid. Oh my God, people are stupid.
That one. The net percent with higher material costs rising 5 points, but there's less wage pressure you can see there, and also less net higher.
Again, guys, nobody is going to integrate DeepSeek into their enterprise software. Nobody is. Nobody is. Nobody is. Nobody.
Going on. Layoff intentions, however, were muted. Capital spending rising 7 points to 19. That's a good sign. When it comes to the new administration, 69% say they have not adjusted their hiring or capital spending plans as a result of the election. Just 27% have. And that could be because of policy uncertainty.
I know. Jay made a really good point. People are getting way too comfortable downloading Chinese apps onto their phone. Here's the thing, though. Like, if you want to be an idiot, be an idiot. We just need to make sure that government employees and that people that, take care of strategic infrastructure aren't using TikTok and DeepSeek or anything else. At least DeepSeek is open source, though. I'll give it that. That's a much safer thing than like using TikTok where we don't know what the fuck is going on behind the scenes. But again, the TikTok audience, though, they're like, I don't know. I don't want to say they're a bunch of retarded people, but they're a bunch of like teenagers and people with short attention spans that don't want to be thoughtful, and that are okay with just looking at garbage all day, just cycling through garbage that doesn't do anything to help them in their lives. And that's not exactly, I don't know, that's not like the deepest threat in the world. It's probably not great for humanity or the people in this country, but yeah, I don't know. I think we'll survive. Victor, Jesse wouldn't believe media in Spain. Ha ha ha. I'm banging the table listening to. Yeah. Colby James, U.S. Army has its own new AI chatbot specifically for government systems. Hopefully they're not using DeepSeek. Disease Kodak, I'm behind in the live, but I thought you could buy crypto or stocks with credit cards. I wouldn't do that because you're not getting a 0% offer. You're paying like whatever that interest rate on that card is, which is probably like conservatively anywhere from like 18 to 30%. Why the fuck would anybody do that? You should never do that. If you did a balance transfer offer for 21 months and you did it with like a 3 to 4% fee and you're paying anywhere from 2 to 3% interest each year, and that's locked in for 21 months before you have to pay it back because you're hitting a higher interest rate. Now that is a good deal if you're borrowing against that, but why would you use a credit card where you've got to try and outpace 20 to 30% interest? That sounds insane. I would not do that. Kisharanath. Wow, that's a long name. Love you, sir. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too much. Dario, what price would you consider buying Tesla shares for the long term? Every price. Stefan, really nice how BTC bounced off your diagonal support line. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I thought we had an ascending triangle and we were just going to go up. Sometimes though, we like it's a great liquidity hunt. If you guys look, I'm sure like Marty Party and a bunch of people have stuff like that. Let me see. I'm sure Marty Party and maybe a few others show how the liquidity hunters have slammed down. This is 10 hours ago. There's probably better ones. I'm sure there's better ones out there that show how basically they were washed out. I think, you know what, my buddy Chicken Genius, he was talking to me the other day. I tried to tell him that he's actually a pretty good dude. I don't want to show his chat, but he's a good dude, man. So yesterday I was telling him, I was like, hey man, you should maybe turn on members, because he gets a lot of shit from people. And you should turn on members and try and increase your revenue. Like it's worked for me. And again, I don't mind revenue. It just makes it to where I don't have to cash out my investments to be able to pay my bills, which is something I had to do for 4 years, while supporting a bunch of other people. But he basically told me, yeah, I probably missed out on a ton of money from that. But he's like, I'm not going to take money from people. And I think that's totally admirable. I think, again, he's not a perfect person, but I don't know. I think he's all around a pretty good guy. Yeah, right here. Look at this. He said we bottomed, and it just shows how the liquidation heat map wiped out everybody down here, and now we're back up to here. And this is looking juicier now that everybody's been wiped out. We got rid of all the longs. Everybody that keeps trying to use leverage to long this fucking market just gets butchered. But I think this is good. I think this is good. I mean, again, you've wiped out the longs, all the like everybody that was greater than 3x, poof, 5x? No, greater than 5x probably. Poof. So those people are gone, and now it's time to go up. That's my opinion. And people can shit on me because I'm too nice or too positive about markets. Not too nice. I mean, I'm too nice too. Chicken's a good guy. Yeah, I don't show comments. But let me see. He's in here somewhere. Let me see. Chicken dinner. There we go. Yeah, dude. Hey, I hear ya. I don't show comments, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be opposed to me showing this one. It says, hey, good to hear from you. But yeah, I threw away millions for new subs. But seriously, I can't accept a single cent from anybody. I rather invest it. It's hard-coded. So that's, dude, what a fucking good guy. You know what I mean? I don't know. Got a lot of respect for him. Even if he's not always right about stuff, he's still a good dude, and there's times where you definitely should be listening to him, in my opinion. We both get irate and talk shit. So we're very similar in that regard. Next liquidation or shorts, 104, 106 on BTC. Yeah, never sell BTC ever. And shitcoins and everything else I'll toss around, but BTC has to say, yeah, BTC, you should be adding to your long-term BTC holdings every cycle. That's my take. Trump is going to make a tweet on AI and turn the market around. Yeah, maybe. There's a bunch of stuff, guys. You're gonna have moments where narratives take over that aren't accurate. I just hope everybody realizes that narratives are a thing. Sometimes narratives are the right ones, and sometimes they're just bullshit. Like bird flu is a thing we need to worry about, and people were talking about how people are getting sick in China again, and blah 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 blah. So congrats to everybody that got Bitcoin on the cheap. I think the market's going to bounce back pretty quickly. Let's get through some stuff, though. We haven't talked about enough. There's so much going on. Let's go to the Trump stuff real quick and just kind of get through this. So again, I don't think we're done yet with the whole Latin America narrative. Colombia's done. Colombia's done. He's folded. Even though the Colombian president was shit talking like a ton in a post, he eventually retweeted that like they're doing everything that America wants after he got done bitching, which I thought was hilarious. And now he seems to be getting the Honduran president to try and back him up. That's not going to turn out well. So this is breaking. The president of Honduras just called on an emergency meeting of all Latin American and Caribbean countries to figure out how to cope with President Trump after Colombia's tactics completely backfired. In case you didn't know, Colombia turned away 2 flights of their own citizens that were in our country illegally, saying something about how we're not treating them humanely. They were like handcuffed and stuff. Brazil took them. Brazil, they're just like, they're little cucks over there, and so they took it. The leadership, I mean, not the people. The people are all great. Honestly, most of Central America, the people are really great. There's a lot of people that support Trump too. But you'll find in most of the countries that the governments are usually corrupt. A lot of cartel stuff, a lot of just bullshit. It's better than Africa, but not by much. But it says an inside official told me the meeting was called by an instruction of the Colombian president using Honduras as like the scapegoat. Gustavo Petro is scared of Trump. This is the Colombian president, that he didn't want his name to be seen. One true social post from President Trump is all it took. The number one thing on the meeting agenda is migration, a.k.a. President Trump. My source says they will show their true colors. All that talk was for internet clicks. They're all scared little puppies. So that's going on. And then we had, this is good. Geiger Capital said it's very simple. 29% of Colombia's exports go to the U.S. 0.8% of U.S. exports go to Colombia. Trump has way more leverage. So Colombia for us is right here. And then if you add up all the Latin American countries, it's maybe like over here. And if we're willing to fuck with Canada and Mexico, we're willing to fuck with these guys. Whereas this is what Colombia has going for it. Does this look fun? So you've got the United States, Panama, China is 5.1%. Can you imagine what happens if they lose 1/3 of their export business overnight? I'm going to say it's not good. Yeah, Chicken Genius too. I've been shitting all over XRP. It's the devil. But again, this is funny. So the president of Colombia retweeted this, his loss, and then unretweeted it. This is the dipshit. He evidently likes to go on dates with transgender men that have penises. So I'm not sure what his wife thinks about that, but we got a good video on that if you want to watch it. Anyway, so it says, from Caroline Levitt, the government of Colombia has agreed to all of the President Trump's terms. So it took like an hour, and this thing was all over. Hey, Jesse, I don't know if you follow Timothy Sweeney. Very smart. Talks about SoFi. Made a good point why 2025 guidance is down a few cents. No, I don't. I can here real quickly. Let me just hop over to there real quick. I'll try and find him. I'll follow him just to... Sweeney, you said? Sweeney? Timothy Sweeney. This guy right here. Timothy Sweeney Tar. All right, I'll follow him and check it out later here. Ooh, nice pool. Dig it. All right, let's go back. Hi, not sure if you went over this yet, but Michael Saylor today. Yeah, I know. I don't know enough about it. I need to dig into it and make sure I fully understand it, but that's great. I think it's just, it's another way for him to get capital from markets. Ooh, I do want to show this. This came from Insurrection Barbie. I love this. I love seeing people of color that are just brilliant and well-spoken and understand the topics, defying stereotypes, getting up here and just shitting all over the mayor of Chicago. This guy is brilliant. I want to listen to this for a second. It's only 2 minutes.
You spent over $574 million on illegal immigrants here in Chicago, Illinois since 2022. Now, you still feel like you have to harbor these illegals, which is not a good idea. And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's a good idea to challenge Tom Homan on this because he's trying to clean up our...
Homan is the person trying to pick up all the illegal aliens, and they're going after the ones that are really bad. Yeah, Colombia. Casper says Colombia is #1 at exporting coke. Dude, they're already losing their cocaine business. Think about it. We got the military on the border. These guys aren't getting fucking through. And now they're going to lose 1/3 of their exports on top of cocaine? Not good. Anyway, listen to this guy. He's good.
Our cities, Mr. Brandon Johnson. Now, let me just remind everybody here that Brandon Johnson is terrible with the budget. How is this $40 million credit line is going to work exactly? Because the key word is credit. So how much will we be using from this $40 million? And the real question is, how much will we be paying back? Now, you want to sit here, you and J.B. Pritzker want to puff out your chest and fight Tom Homan. We need Tom Homan here in Chicago. We need Donald Trump. And I don't want to see people like Pam Bundy and Kash Patel, haul you up out of here and become prosecuted. I don't want to see that happen. But they will do their job if they have to, Brandon Johnson. Now, we are $1 billion in debt. That's absolutely insane. Kamala Harris, she spent $1 billion on her campaign less than a year, and she's $20 million in debt. So it's looking like Democrats are bad with money.
I love it, dude. I love seeing this. I love seeing the black community rise up.
Now, you ignored me for 10 to 15 seconds last time I was speaking.
This is great. This is just so great because the black community has received so many promises from Democrats for a very long time, but they're also the ones that have worked very hard to enslave black people for a very long time, right? Like they're the original slavers, and even presidents throughout history are like, we'll keep black people voting for us for hundreds of years. I think that's over. And I think this young man, I could say young man because I'm old, is representation of that and all the people behind him. I love it.
And I really did not appreciate that at all. But I got a Christmas present for you. Let's remind the people of Chicago that Brandon Johnson spent $32,000 in campaign funds on haircuts and makeup.
You fucking tell him.
I got an early Christmas present for you, Brandon Johnson.
Oh.
This is some makeup for you right here. You got some rouge. You got the makeup brush right there so you can save this people some money for crying out loud. Now, let me tell you people, I'm going to
I
be
love
serious
this.
here. We need to
feel like
start
I'm in a black
voting
church
different
again. I
in
love
these
it.
cities like New York and Chicago. Stop voting these people in. It's not Democrat versus Republican anymore. It is populist versus establishment. It is the populist versus the establishment. Stop letting them trick you into the race baiting when it comes to Brandon Johnson. Oh, black people need help too. Trump want to hurt black people. What are you talking about? We're legal here. We are legal.
I'd vote for that dude. That was great. That was great. He what a badass, man. Not even fucking around. I love it. I love it. I love to see that kind of stuff. We need more people like that in politics and calling these fuckers out. So this is from George again. He said President Trump will be addressing House Republicans tomorrow in Miami to instruct them on what they must do ASAP. Vice President J.D. Vance will meet with him on Tuesday. The administration is working overtime. I can't believe how much Trump is doing in this short amount of time. The man is not sleeping. He has a lot. All the bitterness and hatred of being persecuted for 4 years is going to come out in amazing ways in the months and years ahead. And here we go. Border wall construction started in El Paso, Texas. They're getting to work. We ain't fucking around. Look at how many of these bobcats we got. Or cats. Sorry, not bobcats. But look at these guys putting this wall up. They're not stopping. They're not slowing down. Oh, they took this away? That's bullshit. This is funny. That's bummer, man. Oh, this is a good post. I'd have to try and find the image. It was a good one. Oh, well. All right. And I just made this comment here about how this is a great way to round these fuckers up. And also, isn't it amazing that you see these protests of people that are here probably illegally holding Mexican flags and saying that ICE needs to be disbanded? What the fuck? Do they run the fucking country? Get them out. All these people. Fucking find them. If they're illegal, get them the fuck out. If they're here legally, they stay. If they're here illegally, boot them the fuck out, and then you won't see these protests anymore. This was such a great one. Is anyone I don't like is Hitler chorus. Spend some quality time with this meme. Oh, I wish I could. I'll try and find it and show it to you guys next time. It was so good. I'll take it out of here for now, though, since it's not available. Sadness. All right. And again, here's what. So the president of Colombia basically said, for people who don't know, he's like, fuck you guys. He's like, we're not taking your people. Yeah, whatever. And he had this big, long diatribe. I think I have that too. I'll show it to you if he didn't take it down already. But here's what Trump had to say to them since they weren't going to take their people back. Here's what he said. Look at this man. This man is balls out, done with this shit in 2 seconds, setting an example and a precedent for anybody else that wants to fuck with America. And I'm for it. I was just informed. He did this from a golf course, motherfuckers. I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. True. And with the dollar being strong, he's really not popular. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States, so I've directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. Emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming to the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50%. And then this asshole responded back later, too, after he basically capitulated, saying that he was then going to impose 50% tariffs, but then he backed down from that shit real quickly. Once he got done having sex with his transgender lover, he sobered up and realized that he was going to be in trouble. But let's listen. A travel ban and immediate visa revocations, oh my God, on the Colombian government officials and allies and supporters. Visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government. Enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds. Good luck getting your cocaine through. IEEPA, Treasury, bank, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States. Boom. Fuck you. Fuck you. Love it. Jay Strez. Who says truth bombs and common sense by the dude, which Dems can't understand or they try to ignore, blows my mind. So that guy owned those motherfuckers in Chicago. Jay Strez, for years of Trump to scheme and Biden to turn wake everyone was the best thing for Americans in the long run. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I don't like the word scheme, but I think you're 100% right, Jay. I think that the persecution they gave to Trump allowed him to think about all the things that were done wrong, allowed him to be able to build a massive team, and then once he got shot at and Elon Musk joined, it was like game over. Everybody else after that is like, we're gonna support this man. Parasheath, thank you very much for joining, my friend. Appreciate it. Gemini Knight, common sense is coming back. Yes, sir. Tippy 2000, everything was pre-approved with Colombia. After the flights took off, they then denied the landing. I know it's bullshit. DeepSeek is down already. Anyway, In Wokeness said ICE made 956 arrests of illegals today. That was yesterday. Way up from the 286 arrests by ICE yesterday. Their goal is to hit 1,500 daily. Trump has given them a higher target. They're going to start arresting more and more and more. They're going after all the bad guys. If you look right here, guys, let's see all the bad guys that liberal Democrats would like to have still in this country. Suspected ties to ISIS. Oh, okay. MS-13 gang member wanted for murder. Oh, we should have him here. Convicted rape of a child. Oh, we love it when they rape our kids, right? Convicted of sexual abuse and kidnapping. Democrats would tell you that this is bad and that we shouldn't be doing this. You know how we know this? Because the sanctuary cities let them go, even though they know who they are. Speaking of J.D. Vance, somebody was talking about J.D. Vance earlier. Let's listen to this badass. I've said this before, guys. J.D. Vance is the perfect man. Trump is the blunt sword. I guess Elon Musk is the axe, which is awesome. And J.D. Vance is the voice of reason that comes in and tells people how things are and what to believe and what not. And he's the person who can go on all of these liberal news organizations and decimate all of their talking points. Let's listen to this 29-second clip.
And this is, I think, one of the fundamental premises of President Trump's leadership. The American people should expect more of their government. When there's a terrible disaster, they should expect food, medicine, and water to get to the people who need it. When there's a terrible fire in California...
Oh, my bad.
Premises of President Trump's leadership, the American people should expect more of their government. When there's a terrible disaster, they should expect food, medicine, and water to get to the people who need it. When there's a terrible fire in California, the fire hydrants ought to actually turn on. I am sick of the American people having such low expectations for their government. They should demand more of us because this is the greatest country in the world, and that's what Donald Trump's leadership promises to bring back. And this
Dude, remember that VP debate? Oh my God. Oh my God, it was just insane. But yeah, he's right? He's fucking 100% right, guys. He's 100% right. Oh, and here's Shamath saying that Donald Trump is 100% right about the snowmelt from the Sierra Nevadas and rainfall sent almost 30 million cubic acres of water into the Sacramento River Delta over the past 15 months. Of this, only 23% was sent to to productive use in farmland and irrigation and homes. Why do we have all the fucking land dry in California and LA? And why are we not planting more crops when we're pushing out 30 million cubic acres of water to the fucking ocean? Why? All these idiots need to be replaced. We're done listening to stupid fucking people trying to run this country. And you know what I love? You know what Trump's done? He said, oh, hey, you want federal funds to help rebuild all these multi-million-dollar mansions? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can get those. We need to see like voter ID laws implemented in a way that can't be revoked in 2-4 years. So yeah, once you get us voter ID laws and then you start pumping that water down to these valleys, then we'll give you federal funding. Until then, fuck you. That's the right move. The ATF, but they saved, they saved little baby smelt. We get these little fucking tuna things now. Yay. And they honestly, they didn't even save any fucking smelt. It didn't help at all. Gemini Knight, the more I think about the World Economic Forum is trying to destroy the USA. Yeah, they are, but they're losing, and they're losing big time. And even I think I played a video last week where one of the people from the World Economic Forum at the World Economic Forum in Davos said that they're losing. So, and then he said why they were losing, and I thought that was great. You know what the thing I love about the Colombian president is he was born in Italy. He was born in Italy, but he's trying to make it, he tried to use this in a post, and I might have it here. We'll pull it up if I do. He tried to make it look like the white oppressors were, the colonizers were leaning on Colombia. And he tried to paint that fucking narrative. And a bunch of other people in Colombia are like, are you an idiot? Why the fuck are you messing with the United States? You're going to destroy our businesses here and get overthrown very quickly while you're fucking a bunch of dudes. So, yeah, anyway. Eric Burleson, the ATF defied real Donald Trump's order to place DEI workers on leave, instead giving their DEI officer a new title. They attack citizens' rights, ignore leadership, and act as though they're above the law. Enough is enough. Time to abolish the ATF. Yep, agreed. Do it. Make them go away. Oh, here's the Colombian president with his drag queen, guys. Wonder who got to be on top. You know? This guy's married, by the way. He's married. But he's not gay. He wants you to know that. He just likes a little bit of penis every once in a while, but he's not gay. Mario, Trump to rehire troops fired over vaccine mandates. Don't you guys love it? How real I keep it? Yeah, so we're hiring back 8,400 troops that were wrongly removed because they didn't take a shot that was horrible for them. One I took like a fucking moron. Pete Hegseth is now the Secretary of Defense. And I think that's it. I think we crossed a lot of the other chasms here. Homeland Security yesterday saying we're on it, POTUS, in regard to Colombia, which is great. Hollywood's definitely gay. Catherine, black and brown people cannot achieve unless we make exams easier. I love it. I love it when people like this stand up and are like, this is bullshit. Why are we treated like we're fucking idiots? Oxford and Cambridge to move away from traditional exams to boost results for minorities. So here's what they're doing. This is insane. This is how you get inferior people. Oh, I don't even know if it's in this post. It might be in another one. But they're going to allow take-home tests for fucking Oxford and Cambridge. And the ability to search for the answers online. What the fuck? What do these degrees even mean anymore? If you can literally, if you're black, you can take the test home. What do they even mean? And good for you for calling. This is just, you want the best people for the job. You don't literally want somebody who's borderline retarded but has an Oxford education, whatever the fuck that means anymore. You should help people get better access to education and help them have safety so that they actually fucking finish high school. Try that out. That should help. Here's a job linked on LinkedIn asking for only H-1B applicants. Americans need not apply. So they'll only take you for this job if you're an illegal. Isn't that great? All right. Anyway, that's probably enough. I think we covered enough Trump for one day. Yeah, I mean, again, what you're just literally destroying any worth of that degree. And there's people that are very smart and hardworking that get those degrees, and then people will look at them as if they're worthless. And so you're degrading the quality of the degree and the institution. It doesn't make any sense. It's just idiocy. All right, a few other things. Back pay for the troops. They should. Hell yeah. They should give them all their money. All right, so the Department of Government Efficiency posted another $145 million in federal savings due to cancellations of 16 DEIA contracts by the Department of Labor, Transportation, Agricultural Commerce, HHS, and Treasury, thanks to those departments for their proactive, rapid work. Doge is going to audit the Pentagon since they failed 7 audits in a row. So people said, isn't it funny, guys? People said, oh, you can't You can't take away from entitlements. You can't take away from the Defense Department, and yet they're going after them for exactly these things. So you can. Was hoping to pick up some cheap Tim, but it's hardly moved. That's good. That should help my ARKG too. ARKG's down 2.73% today, so it looks like it isn't getting beat up too much either. The Doge team is looking for world-class talent to work long hours, identifying and eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. These are full-time salaried positions for software engineers, InfoSec engineers, financial analysts, HR professionals, and in general, all competent, caring people. Elon Musk, this is a massive fraud of the federal entitlements program, worse than anything you could possibly imagine. So this says, this was easily the most shocking and informative thing I've learned thus far. 14 million people get disability every month. This is up from 4 million in 1995. So somehow, since 1985, we've gained 10 million disabled people in the United States. I don't know. There's probably a bunch of bullshit in there. Now, don't get me wrong. Our aging population has increased, but I still don't know that it's increased with a 200% increase in that number, and I'm sure there's all kinds of corruption in it. Elon put, bureaucracy is killing America. Drowning in red tape is out of control. Unelected bureaucrats hold a lot of power in America, strangling personal and business ventures and endless rules and paperwork. Congress writes the laws, but it's the administrative state that decides how they're enforced, and it's a nightmare. The federal agencies have ballooned to 438. It could be over 500. We're not actually sure. There's so many NGOs, non-governmental organizations that are funded by the government. Isn't that funny? Non-governmental organizations that are government organizations employing 4 million people, most untouchable by elections or firings. It's not even just that. It's all the other contractors too. So there's probably 14 to 20 million people that are funded by the federal government doing all kinds of bullshit. And it's a mess and it needs to be fixed. I don't know how true this is, but this is interesting. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency meets with public blockchain reps to evaluate their technology per Bloomberg reporting. So it sounds like they want to do something in a published ledger way that makes it auditable and easily viewable. I dig it. And here's another one too. Elon wants to track government spending on a blockchain. Elon is reportedly exploring blockchain tech revolutionize federal revolutionize federal operations under the Doge. Ideas on the table include using blockchain to track government spending, secure sensitive data, process payments, and manage federal property. I would think Bitcoin would be good for all the sensitive stuff, and anything works as far as the displaying of public data. Elon Musk and supporters say this is a way to boost transparency and slash waste, but critics warn it could face major implementation challenges. I don't think so. Oh, it's totally an overreaction. Carlo, I got my account hacked and suspended on X. How can I get my account back? You should submit something to support and let them know that your account's been stolen. Investomaniac. If I can try and tag too and see if I can get you some help, but you definitely want to submit something to support right away and let them know. You can give them the account. You can tell them what happened. And they'll ask for like proof of you being you, and they should be able to get it fixed. Even smaller accounts get stuff like that fixed. Yeah, and it just me again saying that entitlements or social benefits and defense are on the table, and that we will. And then here's Jamie Dimon saying that Elon Musk is the Einstein of our generation. So a lot of good stuff sitting in front of us right now. It's 8:13. We've got about 17 minutes until the market open. I'm going to jump over to some U.S. economy stuff. I did want to point out a few things. So this chart should be framed and put in the office of every U.S. member in Congress. So you can see the build out that China's been trying to do for energy. I think part of this is for war, but other parts was growing their economy. Here's the problem, though. They've got too much energy, and they're still building it. And when you have capital flight, when you have companies shutting down, and you have really expensive nuclear energy, and the other forms of energy like coal and things that are cheap too, and they're able to do it for less. But when you have all these things, we got Eunice Yoon talking about DeepSeek. I wonder what she's all going to say. That should be interesting. But so they've been working on energy generation like crazy, and it's a much faster rate than the United States. We do need to improve this, but it also looks a lot scarier than it really needs to be. There's a newer version of this post that says, maybe I'll get to the new. Let's go to you're viewing the latest. Okay. This is a post I made. It was kind of long-winded, but I'll try and go through it really fast. I said that, what are we going to do to handle the energy challenges coming at us? I think the focus will be the building out of natural gas, NG plants, that are a must for the U.S. to accelerate our energy build out. Why is it a great option over the short term? Because we have an abundance of the resource, which is a great start. It's one of the cheapest forms of energy right now, $41 to $71 per megawatt hour. Solar and wind are currently cheaper. They're sitting around, you can get into the 20s and 30s, actually probably an average of about 30 megawatt hours. But wind can't get any cheaper. Solar can. But I said I believe that if we increase natural gas production, we could drop these rates down from 41 to 71 per megawatt hour down to about 20 to 40, which would, again, put them right along in line, if not better, than some of the solutions that we have for solar and wind right now, depending upon how you're setting it up. And then I, over here, put energy cost by type in the U.S., and I sourced it. Robert, thank you for joining too. And then a bunch of letters, thank you for joining too. And then I put note, the only time that NG sucks is as a peaker plant, but I would bet that Elon Musk will be more than happy to address the peaker plant market with Tesla Megapacks. And in here, you can see that as a peaker plant, you go up to like the $180 per megawatt, 200s per megawatt, and that is bad. So it's not a good peaker plant, but the Megapacks are cheap. And I put some stuff under here that I linked the Megapack versus other forms of energy as a peaker plant. And just the comparison between them. But I said, how long will it take to build these out? Right now, it takes around 2 to 5 years, but I believe it could be brought down to 1 to 2 years, which is comparable to solar, wind, and batteries. Now, do I think that we should still be working on solar? Wind is good in some areas, but I think we have enough wind built up in the areas where it's good, like the Midwest where I live. I saw one of these windmills in Hawaii, and it just looked completely out of place and retarded and took away from the view. So I don't think it's worth having. But I do believe that solar will continue to grow and should. And I do believe that battery systems should be used for all peaker plants in the future. And so I think Tesla is going to be the benefactor of that. And then I said, think drill, baby, drill, because this is exactly what real Donald Trump is going to do. Even if other options might be beneficial as well, I think this is the primary path Trump is headed down simply because that's what he's telling us. He usually doesn't repeat himself a bunch of times about something without being committed to making that happen. And then I put in plant creation timeframes, again, for some of the sourcing over there. I said, that said, I do believe Trump is going to incentivize more production of all forms of energy because he has to. This just won't be enough. I go, how will he do this? I'm not 100% sure, but there's a definite demand for more energy in the future, if nothing else because of EV, AI, robotics, autonomy, agents, AI agents, etc., Bitcoin and crypto, and other forms of technological expansion, because we're basically going to be requiring more energy for everything. We're not done with chips, guys. I hope you realize this. One other thought, we must reduce costs to offset potential inflation from monetary expansion and incentives that increase demand. Because we're going to have that, right? We've still got monetary expansion because we've got interest on our debts. And we've got to service those. And then we've got all these, like Doge is going to do their part to offset this stuff, but we do still have these concerns. And the monetary expansion, inflating the money supply, is going to increase inflation. And incentives increase demand too. And then again, just a positive economy will increase demand. So I said increased energy demand while trying to reduce costs won't be easy, but we do need to reduce costs to offset all of the things that we're talking about. I go, however, I think Elon's current and upcoming work with Doge will help make this process doable. If that's true, we could just pull off a golden age. So maybe the future is bright and we can have our cake and eat it too. A lot has to go right, but I honestly believe this is the current this is the current precedent. Our current president is like our version of the Manhattan Project, and Elon Musk will be a key part in the play. I do believe this. I think it's very, very true. I don't think anybody read this because there's too many words, and I get it. But I do believe this is true, and I do believe that we're going to accomplish all these things, and I hope people will understand this. Kobayashi letter has broken a good breakdown on energy, specifically dropping oil prices and how that affects inflation. Great. Can you link that? I'd like to see it. Kobayashi letter is kind of a doomer, too, so I'd like to see his take on it. DeepSeek may have been a stimulus for a drop, but the background jawing between Powell and Trump is making Wednesday a focal point. Yeah, it will be. Mikey's Mall Town. Trump has been referring to microgrid solutions specifically as his preference for the data center. He says he wants energy production right next to the plants. I totally agree with that. There's a lot of that that's going to happen too. It makes sense. William F. Hey, Jesse, you sound like Dave Ramsey with the credit card deals. I like saving money. I mean, I don't know how Dave Ramsey I sound because each time I do it, I take out $100,000 in credit card debt. At max, I've taken out $250,000 in credit cards at 0% between 18 and 21 months. So let's just call it 19, 20-ish, and with an average of a 3% fee. So that's not very Dave Ramsey to leverage $250,000 in debt, I don't think. But it's made me rich. So I just want to pass on what I do. That's kind of the agreement that I've made. Kirby AI, between more oil, NG, and solar, it'll be lit. Using solar to decentralize the power grid, specifically in sunny California, would be hugely helpful, not only for inflation and energy. Yeah, solar is definitely important in that area, but again, when you don't even use all your resources, when you're not even using all your water, you got a lot of problems. And they should use battery systems a lot. They should be cozying up to Tesla, but they're not, right? They're doing the opposite of that. They're leaving. Bearish, would you rather buy options or indexes on these sell-off days or pick stocks? I never buy indices because I believe in asymmetric returns and they don't really provide that. So I would, in some cases, I will be buying options in other cases, or 2x leveraged funds to lever down since I've used up all my cash. And I do go for specific stocks, yes. Nabil, hi Jesse, happy Monday. You too, buddy. Ash, Jesse, what do you think of Rex's most recent post about bearish sentiment? I don't know, man. I like Rex. He's a nice guy. But he had this really weird post about shitting on MicroStrategy, which I just thought was weird. So I don't know what he said since. Is this it? Urgent, I'm moving my stock market outlook to bearish short term. I've been extremely bullish since late 2022, but I believe DeepSeek is going to muddy the waters. I mean, it's not real. It's not real. So here's why I'm bearish. Earnings. Even if the legitimacy of DeepSeek is unknown, it's not legitimate, will be an inordinate amount of money big tech is spending on AI. This will especially be true in Q4. Reports show AI growing faster than revenues, which could squeeze profit. I mean, that part I can agree with. I could see some of that. I could see big tech that's doing a big build out. Yeah, I still hold Trump. I bought like an extra 5,000, but I haven't bought since it had like its big dip over the weekend. I might buy more. We'll see. So I do agree that bigger tech that's doing a bunch of AI build out could have a negative narrative to it that could pull those down. I agree with that. More. Through designing AI systems with cheaper GPUs as a bullish development, big tech needs to be as expensive as possible in order. Now, it's the expensive. No, that's wrong. If AI spending slows as skepticism grows, it might result. None of that's going to happen. Breadth, this could be the end of the Mag 7 market's dominance. The Mag 7, yeah, their dominance might retrace, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If this means AI systems will be cheaper and more accessible, no, it doesn't mean that. I mean, here's the thing: they could be more cheap and accessible, but I got a post for that too. Let me just go back here. Who was talking about that? Microsoft was talking about that, right? I think I got it in here. Let me see. The H100s, Perplexity AI, DeepSeek, call for a boycott on OpenAI. Oh yeah, this is a separate topic, but you guys got to look at some of these posts. This is just like the death of this person who worked at OpenAI that was going to basically be an informant, Suchir Balaji. He was going to be a whistleblower against OpenAI, and he killed himself. It was ruled as a killing himself moment. But then his apartment is trashed, and there's wig hair sitting in this door where he had bled out to death. It's just, he was murdered, and it's convenient that within 15 minutes it was judged a suicide. And they even had the bullets all placed out near his body with the purchase, the sales receipt for the gun. It was just really weird. Really, really weird. Let me see here, though. I'm trying to find what I'm looking for. Training methods and costs have not been verified. Would treat this with a healthy dose of curiosity and skepticism. Yeah, it always should be. And again, when Elon Musk is laughing about it, you know it's bullshit. Let me see. Do I have the thing I'm looking for? I don't know if I do. But essentially, oh, and you know what? Maybe it's in my recent post. Let me go down. It talks about what happens if the overall costs start to drive down. It ends up increasing demand, and basically it ends up wiping it out. President of Honduras. God, I post too much shit. I really do. God, who can keep up with all this? Laughing my ass off. Oh, here we go. Javon's paradox. Thank you, man, for this too, by the way. So it suggests that DeepSeek's efficient AI could increase overall compute demand as AI becomes more accessible, not decrease it. And so the CEO of Microsoft was actually talking about this. I think this is where this came from, this discussion point. And so it talks about this paradox where, so it's basically this completely disagrees with what Rex was just talking about. So I don't know, man. After his post about MicroStrategy, it seemed a little hypocritical. And again, I like the guy, but it seemed very hypocritical. And let me find some of that too. So there's blackout periods that could potentially be coming. Ben was talking about that. I'll probably save this for tomorrow though, because I want to speak to it intelligently. And again, we got Michael Saylor who did a buy, and now they got strike. We'll probably talk about that tomorrow, because I want to look through everybody's take and figure out what my thoughts are on the subject before I start just spewing off a bunch of bullshit that might be completely contrary to what I'll think tomorrow. We have 3 minutes. 3 minutes, guys, until the bell. Borrow billions, buy Bitcoin. I love that. Biggest global convertible bond issuers in calendar year. MicroStrategy, boom, at the top. Yeah, I should see if I can find that. Let's see if I have the one for MicroStrategy. So I responded to Rex about something. I don't know if I saved it, though. Should probably save it. I wonder. Does anybody have a link to it? Let me see. We'll look it up. Let me look up what Rex doesn't post as much, so maybe I can find it. Quant Bros are amazing for all things MicroStrategy. Yeah, they're great. Ben Workman is the best, too. He's just fucking amazing. Let me see if I can find his MicroStrategy post. Is this the one? Yeah, so I kind of one-upped him on his post here. He got 81 likes. He was just shitting on MicroStrategy. Let's see what he said. The MicroStrategy playbook. If you give us your money, we'll buy Bitcoin, but you can expect to exceed BTC's returns because we'll get another investor after you to be the sucker and buy it. So he's basically using the greater fool theory, right, on MicroStrategy, which is funny because I hear people ignorantly use that too. So I said, sounds like you need to take more time to understand this before you comment more. And I'm not a shill, because he said that people were shilling it. And I don't love that. Anyway, oh yeah, right here. He said, incoming replies from MicroStrategy shills telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, but can't explain why I'm wrong. So he said, in all respect in the world, but just because I don't share the same consensus viewpoint doesn't mean I haven't spent hours studying this. Hours? Maybe spend 100 hours studying it. MicroStrategy is 100% reliant on new, fresh capital. This is just so weird. Using the greater fool theory is so weird to me. The most common reasoning people give for why MicroStrategy should outperform BTC, they don't see what could go wrong. So here's my response. I go, the thing I find kind of funny is that what you said previously, that CleanSpark didn't or wouldn't do anything like what MicroStrategy was doing with the convertible debt offerings, and then they did. And so, again, he was like, they don't need it. They won't do it, blah, 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 blah. We're good. We're just using our approach. But again, it's like you could say MicroStrategy or CleanSpark is the greater fool theory too, right? Like you could say Bitcoin is the greater fool theory. I find all the time that people use the greater fool equivalent. And don't get me wrong, there are things that are the greater fool theory. If you were buying GameStop because some dude who had a headband on was telling you that it was the cool shit to do, and it was the endless money printer, and it was never going to end, that was probably a bad idea. But That was just a short squeeze, right? It was like a perpetual short squeeze, and eventually it was going to end. Yeah, we'll get back to this in a second. Let's get to the bell and make everybody happy. And then I'll finish my thought.
To the extent that everything gets cheaper, you're going to be able to do more.
That's my point. It's going to be a switch. Now, I mean, Mark's talking his own book, but I would point out that, I mean, you watch ServiceNow to make a judgment too, that Mark Banff is a huge believer that hardware is way too important versus what it should be. And he's not an enemy of NVIDIA at all.
Let's get the opening bell here at the big board at Shake Shack, celebrating 10 years.
All right, you got your ding. Now I'm going to finish my thought, and then we'll get back to the stock stuff and see where everything's sitting. All right. So I said MicroStrategy will definitely have its premium sucked out. So I wanted to cover a couple of things here, right? So I'm like, so you were saying CleanSpark wasn't going to do a convertible debt offering, and then they did. Is CleanSpark the people at the bell? That's fucking hilarious. Let me go back. This is funny. 1 second here, guys.
10 years.
Look, right over here.
Danny Meyer up on the podium this morning. At the NASDAQ, it's CleanSpark, an American Bitcoin miner.
So there's Zach.
As we start to look for some
there's Matthew and the rest of the crew.
How the market will view everything X-Mag 7 today.
But, I mean, it is interesting, by the way, that Rob...
Yeah, you know what? Let's look at stocks real quick and see where we're sitting, because I might want to do some buying real quick. All right, so let's just go to the watch list here and see how bad it is. What's the carnage? Iron down 16%. Wow. Okay, I probably do need to make some moves here. I'm going to sort it by the things that are down the most. I just need to refresh my screen. Did Iron get some other news? Or is it just getting butchered for the fuck of it? Oh, because of the AI. Yeah, okay, cool. It's because of the AI narrative and then being an HPC play. I probably won't get MSTX today, but I might do some others. We'll see. I just need to see what, if anything, I want to sell to buy this dip. Damn it. I don't want to sell Tesla. Tesla's only down 1.62, but I'm going to sell some Tesla. Fuck, I hate doing that. But I'll put some into options. So whatever, it'll be all good. Let's just for now sell like 300 shares. All right, so I just sold 300 shares of Tesla. Come on. If it'll let me. That's $120,000. And I'm going to figure out what to buy with it. BITX is down. I'm going to buy Iron first, actually. I'm going to buy Iron because it's down 15.62%, and I think that's just retarded. So let me see here. I'm going to buy 2,000 shares of that because people are fucking stupid. And then I'm going to get some BITX up in this bitch. MSTX isn't even that bad. Retarded. SoFi is down a bunch. Maybe I'll buy some SoFi. I don't know. I need to buy quickly. Everything's bouncing. BITX is still down. Let me get some of that. Let's see here. Let's get, like, what is it, 600? Let's do 600 shares of that. Sorry, guys. I'm just having a little bit of fun over here. Doing a little bit of buying. Got to enjoy these days, man. When stupid shit happens, you got to take advantage of it. Do some purchases. SoFi's down 12%. I might just buy a little bit of SoFi. Might leave that one alone. Let's see here. Ooh, Iron's down 17%. I'm gonna add more to that one. I can't pass that up. That's just retarded. People are so stupid. All right, so far I've been buying BITX and Iron. I think I put about 70K in. I'll post that in a second, guys. What other miners are getting crushed? What else we got? Cypher, I don't really give a shit about that. Neo's up today, too. People are buying Neo today and Baba. Retarded as fuck. Stupid fucking people. I do think I'm going to buy some MSTX today. Let's see how much I want to get. It's not down as much, but I'll buy a little bit. yeah, the HPC plays are getting crushed, guys. Isn't that beautiful? I wanted to add Mara, but it's like the HPCs are down 17%. How do you not add to that? It sucks. I wanted more Mara. It's bullshit. Let's see. I'll do another 1,000 in IRA. Maybe I will get some Mara too. Yeah, maybe a little Mara, and then I'll get some more BITX. What the fuck? BITX is a good value right here. I'm going to do some of that. 8.31%. Retarded. Buy some of that. Let's see. I got 32,000 in cash. Almost done, guys. Sorry, just doing some maintenance. You gotta enjoy it. When you get deals like this, man, you gotta take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Like, be dumb not to. NBIS is down 25%. What is that? What is NBIS? Somebody help me out here. What's NBIS, guys? I love how Tesla wasn't even down that much. Maybe it'll drop more, but down 2%. What are the calls down? 2.5% now. I might sell more Tesla stock just to... I don't want to. I might get some SoFi. Just for diversification. Because they've already had their earnings, right? And they got shit on. So I'll probably buy a little bit of SoFi. Let me see. What is 900 shares? And I might get some Palantir today. I really want to add to my Palantir position. All right. So I bought 900 shares of SoFi down. So I've sold 600 shares of Tesla, guys. That's $250,000. I think I'm going to actually buy some NVIDIA. I don't know if I want. Just kind of holding off on chips. What else is I going to get? Is it good to buy or hold semi stocks now, Jesse? I don't know. I'm kind of interested in semis, but I'm kind of not. So we'll see. Maybe. ARGT's down 3.3%. I wonder what the... So that's Argentina. My ARG calls are up. Oh, that must be residue from last time. There's no way they can be up today. I don't want to buy NVIDIA back, but I almost feel like I'm going to. I am going to get a little bit of Mara. I'm going to get some Mara. I've been telling myself I wanted more Mara. I'm really just loading up on Bitcoin because I think this is just a great entry. I think it's retarded how cheap Bitcoin is right now. And I don't feel like I own enough. So I'm going to get as much as I can. IRA is down 20% now, guys. Fuck yeah. Buying more of that, too. Oh, love it. Drop it like it's hot. You don't get a lot of 20% down days on iron. That's fucking tight. This is kind of beautiful because here's what I was worried about. I was like, I'm holding a lot of Tesla into earnings and they might not do that well. But now it's like I've lightened the load a little bit on Tesla, but I still got a lot of calls. I might buy even more calls. They're cheap right now. What are they at? 150 is down 3% on the day. Is that what it's saying? So let me see. What are we at right now? I might get Tesla calls too. Whoa, this got weird. Let me try that again. Oh, it's showing me two different things. I might get some Tesla calls just to re-leverage up on Tesla. So give me a sec here, guys. Oh, yeah. Great prices on Tesla today. Great prices. Let's do 145.80. See if we can get some of that. I love it. Oh, 145.80. Okay, great. So that was down on the day too. So I've levered out of Tesla and then back into Tesla with more calls, and so the calls have 2x upside. So it's good. TLT, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that TLT is doing okay. Is it good? Is it a good day for my parents to start with the S&P 500? I don't know. I mean, it's a good, yeah. I mean, what do you mean by start? Your parents starting today? The Chinese DeepSeek claim cheaply training LLM must be not fully true. Oh, it's not even remotely true, Silas. Yeah, Elon Musk was laughing at it. That's how true it is. As much as I don't want to buy Nvidia today, I think I'm going to. I think the narrative is just so stupid. I don't know. Should I? I bought a lot of dip. It's a lot of dip. Might do some Fannie Mae, actually. I still want to get that one, too. Let me see. What are we doing here? 535 on Fannie Mae. Is that right? I'll do 1,000 shares on that. Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of buy-in. I'm loving today. Give me all the buys. All right, so Tesla. Let's see. Do I want to buy more leaps? Down a decent amount. Yes, probably. I love it when people are scared. Oh, I don't have a lot of cash for that. All right, I think I'm going to pause. What do I have for cash? I got 10K. Maybe I'll get a couple leaps. How many leaps can I get? One? It's probably like one. Let's see, one leap at 143.20. Okay. Oh, I don't have enough cash. All right, let's sell a few more calls. All right, so I'm going to clear this. I'm going to sell a little more Tesla. I've sold a lot of Tesla shares today. But I brought it into Bitcoin, which I love. It's my baby. And so I'm going to do 200 more shares. Not going to get too crazy. So that's 800 shares of Tesla I've sold today for a total of $330,000, $250,000. And I'll post all this in a second, guys. But let me just see here. So I'm going to buy a few more Tesla calls. So I'm probably going to do like another, can I do 10? Probably do 5 at 144.10. So we're getting a little bit of a bounce back here on Tesla. Let's see if I got to make sure this order closes though, because it's a pretty big one. 145.20 now? Wow, people are bouncing this shit back. Tesla be bouncing back, yo. I'm just going to lock this in at 145.50. Boom, done. All right, cool. How much cash do I got? I think I went crazy today. VIX is up 45%. Awesome. That's why we got such good deals today. All right, let me see here. Iron's down 21.4%. Today's just a bleed out. Bleed out. It almost makes me want to get more iron. It's crazy that MicroStrategy is down 3.7% today, guys. And iron is down 21%. Just nuts. What is NBIS? You got to help me out. I don't remember what that is. Jesse, can you ask Grok about DeepSeek? Maybe. You guys ask Grok. You tell me if it says anything interesting. All right, so I got more Tesla calls. I've got $1 million, but I'm much more into calls now. I've got 35 calls, so I added 10 more. You guys are great. All right, so what do I have? I got a little bit of cash. I'm going to get some Freddie Mac, too. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why not? I already got a lot of RG. Otherwise, I'd just go balls deep in RG. But it's like, I got so much RG, bro. All right, there you go. I've spent all my cash. I blew my load. Now I'm going to have to update my portfolio again because it's going to be totally different. Jesse, what do you do in the money calls? Everybody asked me that question. I don't want to get too far out of the money right now for Tesla, but I do like a 2x the underlying. And so in the money calls, there's extrinsic value and intrinsic value. I'm betting that we're going to see a bounce in the not too distant future for Tesla, and that it's going to do really good over the next year and a half. And so some of the extrinsic value might bleed out of that, but I do think that I'll still have a bunch to capture, and there'll be lots of intrinsic value. So that's why I'm doing it, because I still think it's a 2x the underlying. And that's all the leverage I'm looking to apply right now. Man, Mahindra, all caps. Jesse, what if the hedge fund that owned DeepSeek wanted to make money off NVIDIA short, and if they cover the short now and then go long for cheap? I think stuff like that will happen. I do think that you can get NVIDIA on the cheap, and I think the rest of the chip sector is probably going to come around too, along with a lot of the market. My bet right now for the chip market, though, was the 21% down on iron. I couldn't pass that shit up. It was just too juicy. It was just too juicy not to own a bunch of iron. Oh, I've still got my Fannie Mae. My Fannie Mae didn't kick in. Come on, Fannie Mae, where you at, bro? Let's try it again. Adding to all the stuffs today, but I went a lot deeper into crypto today, guys. A lot deeper into crypto. Own a lot more iron than I wanted to. Good to buy and hold semis at this point. I think they're all right. They're just not the asymmetric bet that I think we're going to get with crypto and other things like ArcG and PayPal and potentially DLO, but CleanSpark calls. I don't know. I don't know if I'd buy more of those right now personally, but I do think that CleanSpark will end up doing well too. Just the stock even at this point, because you could get a nice return on that. And again, all the Bitcoin related stuff is just going to be really great. So explain your thesis on iron, por favor. It's just iron is the HPC play, and it was down 21% because of this whole AI narrative. I think the narrative right now is that people don't need these HPC plays because you're not going to need as much compute, and that's just stupid. We're going to need tons of compute. Anybody who thinks that we don't need compute is incredibly ignorant to what technology is and what's happening. They're probably people that don't have backgrounds in tech, I would guess. I do, luckily. So I know more about it, it seems like, than a lot of these people. DLO's up 3.3% today. Is it really? That's funny. Good times. Ugh. All right. So anyway, we should resort over here. So we've got the VIX up 28%, so that's already coming down. All this Chinese bullshit's going up. TLT's up 1%. I imagine iron is going to come back a lot today, along with a lot of these other things. I got to post this real quick. I got so many buys, guys. It's just ridiculous. I got to post something. It's so ridiculous. It's going to be like a book. Here we go. Let's just get this out there real quick for the socials. And that way you guys can see specifically, because I was just talking about it while I was doing it. And so you guys got it in real time, but you don't have a good visual into it. And, I want to save this, though, because I do want to come back to those points that I was making before I was so rudely interrupted by the stock market. All right, let's do this. I haven't even paid attention to what my board's at. I suppose I should look. Let me do this. Grab this image. I got to put it in the Discord too. Otherwise, people yell at me. They're like, dude, represent today's trades. Oh, and I got to post my portfolio in here too. All right, so let's get that in there. And then I also need to get my post about my portfolio real quick. Iron has recovered 4% already. I know, I'm not surprised. It's funny, right? That's what you do, guys. You benefit from, you capitalize when other people are running away. I mean, that's it, really. You capitalize when other people are running away. It's dumb to run away when there's tons of opportunity. Oh, damn it, dude. What is this? I don't need to give all my links to the Discord people. They know all that shit. So let's just do this. Sorry. Maintenance and cleanup, guys. This is part of my life now. Did I just post the link last time? Oh, that's way better. Let me just do that. Linky. It's my nephew's name, Lincoln. He's so cute. Fucking love that little shit. Or not my nephew, my nephew's kid. Sorry, my brain isn't working. So if you guys don't know, I got a nephew named Dylan. He got in trouble for a bunch of stuff, but he's a great dude. And he's been under house arrest, but he also had a kid recently. So he's been living with me. He's got a really nice house arrest. He's got a 2-bedroom suite upstairs. And then he pretty much can do whatever he wants to here. And he's got a cool uncle, I like to think. Anyway, back to it. Blah. All right, MicroStrategy almost back to even already. Isn't that funny? MicroStrategy, I got a little MSTX, but I didn't go too crazy on that one. I got a lot of BITX guys. I got a lot of iron. I got some Mara. Like I said, I got a little MSTX. I got some FM or Fannie Mae, I think. I don't know if my FMCC ever finished. I did buy more calls with some of that money too. So I got about $1 million in Tesla right now. So that's less than it was. I'm definitely leaning harder into the Bitcoin side of things right now. I did buy a little bit of SoFi. I didn't buy any Palantir. Why did I buy any Palantir? I don't know. Probably should do that too. I think that's the bulk of it. I mean, you guys can look at the list for the rest. All right, let's get back to it. So I was telling Rex, I was like, dude, you said they weren't going to do convertible bonds, and then they ended up doing it, or they didn't need to. But then they ended up doing basically what we thought they were going to do. Now, did they buy Bitcoin with it? No. And I go, but, and then I answered another question to his. I said, MicroStrategy will definitely have its premium sucked out eventually in the bear or before the peak of this cycle. That part's true. But so will CleanSpark, and every miner. History tells us this. I've been listening to Rex pitch this narrative that CleanSpark is going to be like a forever hold, and that's just fucking stupid. That's just stupid. That's not real. It's going to get shit on just like everything else. If MicroStrategy is going down this cycle at the end and when the bear starts or near the peak, ARKG's already only negative 0.3%, guys. What a bounce back. I said, in the end, MicroStrategy, CleanSpark, and other miners are just simply using different strategies to accumulate Bitcoin and or profit from them. Some will be more effective than others, and just from a Bitcoin holding standpoint, MicroStrategy has been the most successful of all. There's no debate. So the question really is there still demand for their debt? And I see no end in sight. Maybe you can clarify why it's over. Again, I just think it's kind of lazy to use the greater fool comparison on MicroStrategy. It's the same thing that people use for Bitcoin and many other companies that they don't believe hold value, but it doesn't make it true. Comparatively, these companies each have their own strengths and weaknesses, which is why I try to rarely shit on other miners. I mean, nowadays, I did put that in here. I used to do that a lot, but then I just realized, why am I doing this? Why do I give a shit? They're probably all going to rise. What's the point? But I said I really shit on other miners or Bitcoin holding companies nowadays. I can tell you this, the amount of Bitcoin per diluted share that you get from MicroStrategy is greater than you get from CleanSpark right now. And I say that while holding almost $500,000 in CleanSpark. So again, I don't know. Would you buy, the drop is over for CleanSpark. It's already almost green. So I probably wouldn't. Oh, I guess the calls are down 4% today. I don't know. I've already got over 400,000+ on ARKG, so I'm probably good. I wouldn't, but if you don't have a position, man, seems good to me as a non-financial advisor. If the calls are really down 4%, I show they're at 1.05. If that's true, mine doesn't always update in a timely fashion because Ally just sucks. But if that's true, then yeah, it might be a good idea. What I think is that MicroStrategy is a Ponzi on top of a Ponzi on top of a Ponzi is fiat. Pick your Ponzi. MicroStrategy and Bitcoin are not Ponzis. Fiat is a Ponzi. Tesla's almost green. Cool, man. Yeah, it's only down 1%. Yes, first time I saw Jesse speak, he was a CleanSpark fan groupie. I like CleanSpark. I do. I think it's great. But they're using a different strategy, and I don't think it's been as effective as what MicroStrategy is doing. And I actually like that Mara's doing this. Mara made a lot of money. Mara became as huge as they are because they acquired Bitcoin. And my friend, let me see. I should actually show this. I saved my friend. It's funny. I used to fight with this guy all the time. But with Mara, my friend, who we've had some arguments in the past, crypto klepto. I think we called each other douchebags multiple times. He's right about some things with Mara. I don't know if there's a good reference in here that I've saved. There might not be. But essentially, it showed a comparison between all the other miners and then the NAV, net asset value premium, with Mara versus MicroStrategy and all the other miners, and it's the best. And so I think that strategy might be a good one. I don't know. I think that strategy might be a good one. And here it says Mara announcement related to Kenya and a potential partnership with Microsoft to co-locate BTC mining with their AI build out should be coming soon. It might be. This is speculation. But Fred Thiel was talking about here how they're going to help build out in Kenya potentially. And I think that's a brilliant thing. Did you already address Strike MicroStrategy preferred stock with dividend? No. I didn't really address it or speak to it. I need to look through it and I need to see what the community thinks about it. And then I need to formulate my own opinion. But let's just read through it real quick here. I'm probably not going to go too deep into my thoughts on it though. I do believe this. So yeah, MicroStrategy's MSTR shift to perpetual preferred stock for raising capital to buy Bitcoin reflects a strategic pivot from previous methods like convertible bonds, aiming to stabilize its financing structure. The perpetual nature of these preferred stocks with no fixed maturity date aligns with MicroStrategy's long-term Bitcoin holding strategy, providing a steady dividend revenue stream akin to fixed income securities. This move is part of MicroStrategy's broader financial strategy to leverage Bitcoin's appreciation potential while maintaining a balance sheet that treats the preferred stock as equity, enhancing its leverage capacity for future convertible debt offerings. And so again, this is off of kind of what Ben Workman was talking about before, which is that, yeah, MicroStrategy is green. Is it? It's really probably really close. I'm showing -0.49%, but yeah, it's probably going to get there. So my whole point is that MicroStrategy was de-risking, and I got a video. Do I have the video in here? Hopefully I got the video. Oh gosh, I might have put it under the Bitcoin section inappropriately, but talking about how they were deleveraging using these techniques right now. Yeah, Bitcoin's at 102. I guess the sky isn't falling. Who could have known? Who could have known? When I was telling you guys this earlier, the simple jack methodology, there was a reason for that. I was telling you guys that this is a dip to be bought, right? And then all this red from the morning. Let's see what all the red looks like. It's getting better. It's getting greener. So anyway, MicroStrategy today announced the launch of Strike, or STRK. I'm not sure exactly what the name is. A new convertible preferred stock offering available to institutional investors and select retail investors. To view the investor presentation video, learn more about participating, and access key details, let's click here. Let's do that. So I haven't watched this yet. Jesse, got any thoughts on some earnings coming by? I hope Tesla goes down. A, because I just sold a bunch of stock. B, because I just bought a bunch of calls and still could sell more stock. And then I put a bunch into Bitcoin, and I think these things are all going to do well. But I'd like Tesla to stay down for a while Bitcoin goes up. I don't think I'm going to get that, but I hope I do. All right, here we go. That's a lot of words. Is there a better version of this? Oh, I can't read a prospectus right now. It's too fucking boring. The Net Roadshow. Let's see what we got here. This is probably better. Here's a presentation. Agree. Okay.
Thanks for joining us today
okay.
to review our new preferred stock offering called Strike.
Let me see.
I'd like to start with a few disclaimers.
Let's let Michael Saylor talk about it.
This is a perpetual preferred stock offering, and it's from MicroStrategy. We're the world's first Bitcoin treasury company. We've got 471,107 Bitcoin. We've also got a business intelligence business, which is $496 million in revenue a year. We've acquired Bitcoin through using cash, through using equity, through using debt, all told more than 20 billion of equity, and we've got 6.2 billion of debt outstanding right now. We've bought Bitcoin consistently for the past 4 years or so in 56 separate announcements. For those of you who are following us, We've now invested $30.4 billion in Bitcoin, and the average price we've spent is about $64,500 a Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is somewhat similar to a Bitcoin refinery. We call ourselves a Bitcoin treasury company. And on one hand, there are a set of investors, they want exposure to the macro economy and the crypto economy.
There you go. That's a little bigger.
But they want it through securities. So they can't buy the underlying Bitcoin. They have to buy either options, trading on an options exchange, or they have to buy common stock, or they have to buy fixed income instruments like bonds. And that's what their preferred investment strategy is.
As good as I can get it.
So MicroStrategy sits in between the traditional capital markets and the macro economy. We're using our Bitcoin reserves in order to create this sort of volatility and performance, as well as we're using the reserves, as collateral to issue these fixed income instruments. So what you can see here is that Strike is going to be part of our new capital structure. We've issued convertible bonds, and that's part of our capital structure. We issue equity. Above our equity, there are derivatives, and there are also options, and these offer investors that want high.
So I want to point out here. So different securities that they have, MicroStrategy options. There's MSTR options that people can get for the underlying. There's these 2x leverage funds. There's the MSTR equity. It's clear version itself. There's 2 spot BTC ETPs, which are like ETFs, but think Canada. There's the MicroStrategy converts. There's the MicroStrategy fixed income. And now there's the Strike offering. He's so brilliant at pulling in liquidity. It is ridiculous.
High vol, high leverage.
Volatility is the gift that keeps giving, Adam. Yes, sir.
The ability to participate in the market. But there's another set of investors that want lower volatility and lower leverage.
Then I guess those British people are fucking stupid. I would ignore some of those numbers too. Like, it doesn't even fucking matter. Europe doesn't even matter.
Leverage, and they're looking for fixed income instruments. So we think that Strike will be something very complementary to our convertible bonds and to any fixed debt type instrument that we might issue in the future.
Okay, we're going to go back to this in a second. We do probably have more data, though, since we passed 9 o'clock. I don't know if it's going to be substantive, but it's just the new home stuff. Then we have the Dallas Fed at 9:30. So I'm probably going to skedaddle after 9:30, guys, but I think I'll stick around till then, just so we can listen to what Michael Saylor has to say about this new offering, because he's brilliant, and I'll try and interject my own and focus on that. So I might ignore chat for a little bit. We're at 102. We've had a hell of a bounce. Markets are looking bouncy to me. We had a pop on the VIX, and I think it'll be interesting to see what the Dallas Fed does. If it's really strong, man, that's going to be freaking amazing. Oh, a LiDAR company? I don't care about LiDAR companies at all. JC, MicroStrategy is green. Woot. Jesse, did you see Dr. Phil was out on the streets? Yeah, I did. I don't know if I posted all that stuff, but there was a lot of good stuff that was happening over the weekend with him hanging out with the deportation group there. But let's get back to MicroStrategy and listen to what he's talking about here. I'm going to ignore chat. I really want to focus on this, okay?
You could think of us similar to an oil refinery. An oil refinery would take crude oil and create refined oil products like kerosene or asphalt. We are taking crude capital and we're creating high performance products like options, high vol, and then we're with this offering more of a fixed income product for a different marketplace. MicroStrategy's share price has been high performing and volatile over the last 4.5 years, as you can see here. In fact, we're up 112% a year each year for the past 4 years.
Just look at this slide, guys. So people ask like, oh, hey, but does MicroStrategy, this isn't Rex's voice. But MicroStrategy doesn't have it's just a greater fool theory, and there's nobody that really wants to buy it. Okay, well the bond market gets an average the bond market recently here. This is performance since August 10th of 2020, right? August 10th of 2020. The bond market has performed -5% And the bond market now has access to this guy, which does a lot better. And look at the annualized performance. Would you be happy with your bonds giving you negative 5%? And then they're doing these convertible bond debt offerings where the bond market has access to 112% returns. Which one looks better to you? And then again, Bitcoin doing a 2x on the Bitcoin. I've been talking about this for the last several years, that MicroStrategy is a 2x versus the underlying 2 to 3x, depending on the timing. It could be 3x at sometimes during peak euphorias. And then miners can be 3 to 4, sometimes 5 or 6 during peak euphorias. But look at this. You got the Mag 7 doing 1/3 or less than 1/3. And then you got the S&P at 14%. You got gold at 7. You got real estate at 6. You got bonds at -5. And then you got MicroStrategy. I think there's going to be plenty of people that are willing to do this. I'm not doing Simple Jack's voice. And I actually like Rex. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know where he's coming from on MicroStrategy and some of this other stuff.
That's not quite double Bitcoin, but you can see the S&P is 14%. The Magnificent Seven is double the S&P. Bitcoin is double the.
Keep in mind that when I was graduating high school, this man was the manager at a fucking McDonald's. So if you guys want to talk shit about Saylor, you could do that. But he went from that to creating his own tech company, making it worth a fortune heading into the dot-com bubble, having that get crushed, and then still having his business just growing and growing and growing. The only CEO that's still fucking around after the dot-com bubble and the tech sector. And this guy now has reinvented his company into a Bitcoin holding company, and it's brilliant. And he understands finance really, 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 really well. So this is important.
The Magnificent Seven. And how do you outperform Bitcoin?
Wait a second. MB, he is only saying that MicroStrategy's model is not sustainable in the long run. He just did not admit it yet. That is the case for CleanSpark as well. Oh, he's a good guy. Yeah, no, dude, I didn't say he wasn't. It's just these are all. And here's the thing. MicroStrategy's model is completely unsustainable in regard to the fact that their company is going to be just fine. And I think it's actually completely sustainable to the fact that they don't have to worry about, my MSTX is up 1% today. Cool. They don't have to worry about getting liquidated. I don't think that's any concern whatsoever. There's this tax FUD. I don't think that's going to be a concern. There's no way Trump is going to make them pay taxes on unrealized gains. There's no way any of that's happening. And again, the only problem these guys have is the premium can get sucked out, just like CleanSpark. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You don't get to see the net asset value of CleanSpark because nobody ever looks at it, right? Oh, it's a Bitcoin mining company, so we should look at it as earnings and stuff. Well, you should do the fucking same thing with this. They haven't incorporated FASB accounting rules yet, but they will be incorporated next year, and it's the same principle. And so if you look at the NAVs for CleanSpark, it's not as good as MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy isn't as good as Mara right now.
The answer is with more Bitcoin. We basically intelligently lever our Bitcoin.
Chamath was at Burger King? That's bullshit, right? Did Chamath ever work at Burger King? Are you fucking with me? Is that real? Another person that lasted longer at McDonald's than Kamala Harris. I fucking love this team. I love you guys.
By thoughtful capital markets activity. And
I do have to know if Chamath worked at Burger King. Can somebody tell me?
Issuing these fixed income instruments. And if you can issue, say, a convertible bond at 0 coupon with a premium,
and
then you can buy something which is going up 63% a year with it, like Bitcoin.
Even though James shits on a lot of mining companies and I think holds a lot of weight towards dilution, which I don't totally agree with. I think dilution in the forms of immediate accretion are good. If you dilute in the right ways, it's good. If you dilute at the right time, it's good. So we disagree a little bit on some of that.
Then you're going to actually.
He worked at Burger King when he was 14. Cool. I worked at Hardee's, McDonald's, and Wendy's. I didn't realize my wife worked at Blockbuster. She was the smart one. I would have rather worked there.
Actually be able to outperform the Bitcoin. if we compound that over 4.5 years, you can see the result is up 2,761%. That makes us the #1 performing stock in the S&P 500 universe. Makes us twice as performant as NVIDIA. You can see here, Bitcoin is really the king of the commodities or the asset classes, up 777%. But MicroStrategy, by building on top of Bitcoin, has been able to perform even better. Now, one of the secrets to our performance is that we're the most volatile stock in the S&P 500 universe. We're literally more volatile than all 500 of them. And volatility generally is thought to be a negative thing in conventional finance. But if you have high volatility, then you plug that into...
Sorry, I want you guys to see this because I want people to actually understand what is going on with MicroStrategy. I think it's crucial to see this, and we've only got like 10, 15 minutes left, and then that will get us towards the Dallas Fed manufacturing data. So I think this is just super important. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. I don't think enough people have actually listened to Michael Saylor talk about what he's doing, and we're getting to the good stuff right now. Volatility is your friend, and they're the most volatile company in the S&P 500.
The Black-Scholes equation, and people typically want to trade your options. So our volatility has fed our options market, and that options market has drawn a new class, a new type of investor to be interested in our company that otherwise perhaps wouldn't be. The combination of the volatility and the novelty of the Bitcoin exposure has made us the #6 most optioned stock in the S&P 500 universe, and also the #6 most liquid stock in the S&P 500 universe. So we skyrocketed from not even being on the list to #6. And
so this is just so amazing. The most volatile, the most liquid, the most options, open interest. This is the company.
4 years, but probably more interesting to an investor is on the right side of this table. You'll see that we're the #1 most optioned stock as a percentage of market cap, and we're the #1 most liquid stock as a percentage of market cap in the S&P 500 universe. And so that volatility, it drives liquidity, it drives open interest, and it attracts new investors. We're not just more volatile than all the S&P 500 companies, and we're not just,
look at their options
top
market.
1%.
Look
if
at
we're
the options
#6 out of
market.
500 in the S&P. But if you compare us to the crypto universe and the Bitcoin universe of securities, we have the largest open interest of the Bitcoin-related companies, and we're far larger than IBIT, which is the #1 Bitcoin ETF by options volume. And we're more than 20 times larger than the next largest operating company with Bitcoin on its balance sheet, which would be Mara.
Can I speed this
and
up?
So for options traders, they're looking for volatility, lots of optionality, deep pools of liquidity. MicroStrategy is really the benchmark. And that leads us to Strike.
Iron's up 7% from its low,
right?
By the way.
Because we're so volatile, because we're uniquely positioned, we're able to create Strike. Strike is a convertible preferred stock with an embedded perpetual call option on MSTR. MSTR is the common stock with the most exposure to Bitcoin. I've already talked about how volatile and performant we are, but Bitcoin, of course, is one of the most volatile, highest performing commodities. So we're basically building a preferred security on a volatile, liquid, high performing equity built on a volatile, liquid, high performing commodity. And to our knowledge, Strike is the first preferred equity and or convertible preferred equity built on top of, a company that is built on Bitcoin. It will be the second publicly traded ticker that MicroStrategy has. So whereas the mission for MicroStrategy is to be a high performance levered Bitcoin equity, Strike is a preferred stock with an 8% fixed coupon a perpetual uncapped call option, and publicly traded. And we think that that's fairly unique. Here are the details, right? It's, rather than being a common equity, it's a preferred equity.
Sorry, I got to see this again.
It will be the second publicly traded ticker that MicroStrategy has. So whereas the mission for MicroStrategy is to be a high-performance levered Bitcoin equity, Strike is a preferred stock with an 8% fixed coupon, a perpetual uncapped call option, and publicly traded.
What the fuck? What the fuck? An 8% fixed dividend? Oh, God, I got to think about this. Fuck. Wow.
And we think that that's fairly unique. Here are the details, right? It's, rather than being a common equity, it's a preferred equity with a liquidation preference with a perpetual dividend. It has a conversion rate to a tenth of a share of MicroStrategy. It kind of works out to $1,000 strike price on a call.
No, man, you're earning the higher interest rate because of the volatility. It's nothing like Celsius. You can't compare him to that guy in any way. The guy who pretended to create the protocol for whatever the fuck it was. No. I think it's better than MSTY, but I want to hear it out.
Call option.
No, man, it's 8% a year. Not every quarter or month. That would be a ton of fucking money. No, it's 8% a year.
You don't have...
But that's not its only upside.
Voting rights, but you do have anti-dilution protections and corporate governance protections.
The volatility, the yield from the volatility.
It is our intent to list this so that it is trading and, on the ticker STRK. We think that on one hand, the call option will appeal to a set of long-term Bitcoin-oriented or MicroStrategy-oriented investors, and the fixed coupon, the fixed dividend, will appeal to a set of fixed income investors. And the key here is we would like to use the preferred stock in order to create a security which is less sensitive on the upside and on the downside to the volatility and the performance of Bitcoin. People that want MicroStrategy want more volatility and more leverage, but we think that there's an opportunity to attract a new class of investors that maybe would like less volatility, less leverage.
It's crazy, dude.
But still have Bitcoin exposure. We think that a number of different investor classes or groups of investors that might be interested in Strike. The obvious first group will be MicroStrategy common stock investors who get high performance but high volatility. And if they wanted to diversify into something which has a guaranteed coupon and perhaps less volatility, then Strike might be compelling to them. Then we've got Bitcoin investors that are buying all the ETFs like IBIT. Strike is another way to get Bitcoin exposure. A third class of investors will be tech investors who are buying the NASDAQ 100 like QQQ. Another group of investors would be just index investors that are buying SPY. And so because Strike is perpetual, you can hold it forever and be perpetually invested with some upside. And so it's just another way to get exposure to the macro economy or the crypto economy or the Bitcoin economy or MicroStrategy.
I'll try and make this simplistic. Is it good for bear times? It's better than holding MicroStrategy because you get an 8% dividend payout and it's going to be less vol to the downside. So it would be a safer way to just perpetually hold on once we peaked. But let's keep listening. It's a fantastic dividend play.
There's
yes,
a set of fixed income investors that we also think might be interested.
Yes, they're providing hedging on their own stock. Exactly, Macro. I think that's exactly what this is. Let's keep watching, though.
The first three tickers are ETFs that are invested in baskets of preferred stocks. They yield 6 to 7%. And the other three tickers here are targeted at high yield corporate bonds, and they yield 6 to 7%. So Strike's going to have that yield, but it's also going to have the upside. And if you're a preferred stock investor, a high yield investor, but you like Bitcoin, or you're crypto curious, or you want that exposure to the crypto economy or MicroStrategy, this is a way for you to invest in a hybrid instrument that does that. Now, we don't think it's going to compete with our convertible bonds. We actually think it's very complementary to our convertible bonds, but it's a different idea.
This is the part I want to hear.
It brings the idea of a convertible bond to the broader capital market in a perpetually trading instrument, a four-letter ticker of instrument. But if you look at our convertible bonds, they've all performed very well.
Pull all liquidity.
If you bought the bonds instead of Bitcoin, you would have outperformed Bitcoin on the day that you bought them. So our bonds have been a good way to invest in Bitcoin. They've been a good way to invest in volatility or MicroStrategy, if you like. And on the other hand, as you look at Strike, Strike is an uncapped perpetual call option above 1,000, whereas the call options embedded in the convertible bonds.
Yeah, this is so cool. So he's basically giving, investors that can participate in this, he's giving them the ability to be able to kind of do what you can do in the convertible bond offerings with MicroStrategy, but in a public market that's accessible to more investors. Fuck.
Are struck at 143 or 183 or 672 or 150. So they're all in the hundreds, and they're all capped in time and also in performance, right?
Like think of options, MB. So with some like if you're investing in a fund, it'll be like a perpetual version of an options contract where it just keeps rolling over and it doesn't have like a strike date that comes to an end. When they say perpetual, that's what they mean essentially. It just keeps rolling over.
Right. I mean, you've got a call option good till the year 2028 that's capped at above 238 if you're investing in the 28 bond, and if you're invested in the 31 bond, you've got the call option capped at 303. After 303, the company could call it. So the converts really appeal to people with a shorter time horizon, a different investment preference.
Yeah, good point, Rexer.
And the strike instrument will appeal to a different class of investors that want to invest across a different space. Here in this table, you can see the differences between our converts and our convertible preferred. The biggest obvious difference is the coupon, 8% versus 47 basis points. And of course, the preferred is junior to the converts, and the preferred will trade to the general public on STRK's ticker, and the converts are 144A distributed, and so they're more thinly traded, not so easily available to buy and sell. Slide 26 shows a picture of investment space. And you can see if you're really wanting to buy something and hold it for 30 years, or if you're wanting to buy something and ride it indefinitely, then Strike is for the perpetual investor looking for long-term participation. Obviously, if you want dividends, then Strike is probably the right instrument. But the convertible notes are clustered in the green circle in the lower left corner. And so if your tenor is 2 to 8 years, and if you're looking for call options that are in the range of the hundreds of dollars, like these notes are struck at, then that would be interesting to you. For those of you that are, thinking about the dividend, right? The most important question is how creditworthy is the company? The company's got $50 billion of pro forma Bitcoin holdings as of this deal. We see $3 billion of convertible notes that are out of the money right now. All of our other converts are in the money. And so the other converts will equitize if the stock trades at its current level or above. Our stock would have to trade down to 233 for any of the other bonds to be out of the money. And so we've got about 17x coverage on our existing out of the money convertibles. We've got 50 billion divided by 3 billion.
That's amazing.
And on the other hand, if we look at our coverage of dividends, we've got about a $20 million dividend obligation if we do this deal as currently structured. That's 2,350 years of strike dividends in
we're not.
Bitcoin
We're
terms.
not
So we got
skipping
$47 billion
MicroStrategy's
of Bitcoin to pay a
Not
$20
this
million
time, though.
annual dividend. If we were to experience a crypto winter and Bitcoin traded down 75%, then we have 315 years of strike dividends.
God, this is just fucking insane.
Here's another look at our pro forma capital structure. You can see if you look at the equity capital structure, we have a $100 billion equity market cap and a $94 billion equity cushion. That's important because we can sell equity via an ATM to meet our liabilities or obligations from time to time. And of course, we have $50 billion of Bitcoin and we have a $44 billion Bitcoin cushion. And so these are the two ways you can look at the company's capital.
People think this company is so levered, and it's not even fucking remotely. They don't even realize, and they just de-levered here this last week. This is just fucking crazy. Oh,
structure. If you consider
having a hard time wrapping my head around all of this, it's so fucking insane how well positioned he is.
Credit.
Yeah, thank God Trump won. And that's the reason why they've been so aggressive about their Bitcoin purchases too, which are immediately accretive. Your amount of Bitcoin you get per diluted share, even not just share, but per diluted share goes up every time they buy fucking Bitcoin. This is crazy. The way he's pulling in capital into this, he wants to accelerate the adoption of Bitcoin as the world's strategic asset for everybody to come to, and he wants MicroStrategy to be the bank that backs it all up, and I think that's happening.
Worthiness.
Now, don't get me wrong. I still won't hold MicroStrategy through the bear, but man, I might be holding some strike. Very interesting, or at least buying the dip.
Every investor is going to have to come up with their own valuation framework. We tend to think
there
of
are
strike
no
as
other
8% per.
I don't think there are any markets left, Mike. I think this is it. This is literally it. Oh, link the video? Yeah, sorry. Let me do that. Here, there's the video for Sailor right there.
Perpetual dividend and a perpetual call option on MSTR.
No, I always diversify, man. I can't pretend like there's not risk in everything. There's always risk. There's risk in Tesla. Elon could die tomorrow, and then there's a negative narrative, and then maybe I don't know, fucking aliens come. There's always some risk in everything that you're ever looking at. So I would never be all in on anything ever. I just don't work that way. But this is fucking amazing. What he's talking about doing, I'm going to have to spend like the next several days just wrapping my head around all of this and trying to think through every bit of it to think if there's any negative downside that I'm really worried about. But in the bear, I still see the premium getting sucked out of MicroStrategy. But what he's doing right now is amazing.
The primary drivers of the perpetual dividend are, considering the creditworthiness of the company, what is our BTC coverage, and then thinking about your crazy, forecast of interest rates over time.
Steak and Egg says this is an 8% fixed annuity with unlimited upside and much higher volatility than a general dividend style annuity. If I was 60 plus years old, I would be all over this. Justin, Strike would be a good long-term hold. Buy the fucking dip during bear with 8% divvy. Yeah, exactly. You would hold this shit through the bear market and purchase more of it, and then when you think we've reached the bottom, you would start applying money back to MicroStrategy again so that you can ride it up. What he's trying to do is he's trying to eliminate the need for people to use other instruments for the bear market and the bull market and just make it him. And it's working.
And you can arrive at a value for that dividend stream. And I think if you want to value the call option, you have to consider, what's your forecast for the MicroStrategy stock price? What's your forecast?
Yeah. It's multiplying, right, Alvaro? So it's an 8% fix. So even in the bear, if the price is going down, whatever, like you're getting that 8%, you can just reapply the dividends back to it. And so you're buying the dip with it, right? But then at the same time, when it's going up, it's going to, each year that 8% is going to be compounding on top of the share price going up. It's going to get wild. Do covered calls on MSTR and give a monthly dividend, but Strike is a form. Yeah, see, and the credit worthiness of MicroStrategy is going to be better. And again, it's their version of it. Why wouldn't you stay in house? Why would you use MSTY at all, honestly?
For MicroStrategy volatility and, by inference, what do you think about the future of Bitcoin volatility and Bitcoin performance, since MicroStrategy is heavily geared to Bitcoin? So with that, I guess I would leave you with a thought that we think that Strike will be a strategic part of our capital structure. It will be complementary to our convertible bond strategy.
Oh,
it will be complementary to our equity strategy.
I got 1 minute, though. I just want to let him finish his thought.
It will help create more intelligent leverage. It will. We think we will have a security that will be interesting to a different class of investors. So our objective is to expand access of the capital markets to the entire Bitcoin ecosystem, and to create another continuing source of intelligent leverage for MicroStrategy. Because Strike's going to trade in the market, in time, we could file a shelf registration and begin to sell additional shares of Strike via an ATM in the same way that we've sold additional shares of MSTR via an ATM. And that's an interesting option for us.
Fuck, he's so brilliant.
We think this should be good for the common equity. We're enthusiastic about the way it's complementary to our convertible bond strategy. We think that it will give us a lot of experience with fixed income investors and optionality there, and attract capital to the Bitcoin ecosystem, and of course, help us grow our asset base. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time today.
And again, all the risk factors are going to be an important thing to read through, but we're going to jump real quickly back over to economic data and see how we did with the Dallas Fed. Whoa, fuck. Dude, we're back. America's back. I don't give a shit what anybody has to fucking say. We just had the best read since October of 2021, motherfuckers, on the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. We had the best read since 2021. People can play this off as a bad thing, but those people are fucking stupid. Unbelievable. They're probably like, oh, inflation. The Fed won't lower rates. No. I can't believe this. This is just fucking nuts. Unbelievable. Well, the Fed Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index crushing it probably won't help rates get lower, but I think he'll get the rates lower too because he's going to drop energy just like he was talking about, and he didn't talk about it happening in January. I don't even know if he's going to apply pressure for January, but damn, he's going to be applying it greatly in March. Hef Williams, Jesse, if you had 100K, what would you do with it now? How to split it across? I don't know what you have for a portfolio. I would definitely own some Tesla. I would definitely get Bitcoin related investments. If you're willing, if you got a risky appetite, I mean, again, MSTX is a great way to get a 2x on MSTR. BITX is another 2x on Bitcoin directly. So you don't have to worry about the premium getting sucked out if you own that one. There's a bunch of things to invest in. I think ARKG is still a really good one. The calls on that I think are great. ARK's getting ready to explode higher. There's a lot of opportunity, guys. Jesse, did you read Kobayashi's post that calculated oil should drop to $15 to impact inflation enough to push it towards 2%? Nobody gives a shit about that 2% number. Nobody fucking cares. And I don't care if it goes to $15. I'll be happy if it goes to 50. Kobayashi's definitely a bear, though. Like I don't know. But that number is just fucking arbitrary, man. It doesn't matter. I don't care if inflation is 3 to 4%. It doesn't fucking matter. The only thing that happens with a 3 to 4% inflation rate is it makes people realize that that they're getting their money stolen from them, which can be destabilizing. But we've got so much deflation getting exported out of China. It might not be impactful yet, right? And there might be narratives where because of tariffs, oh, we're going to have inflation go up, blah, 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 blah. But a really awesome U.S. economy is important, and energy prices will fall, and Trump will get his rate cuts. You know why? He'll boot Powell the fuck out if he doesn't, and apply so much pressure to him. And I'm sorry, I think they can do it. I think they can do it. So independent or not, I don't know if the Fed's going to be that independent, and I don't even know if it matters that much because, frankly, I want the Fed to fucking die. Yeah, I could see this. I could see gas, or I could see barrels of oil definitely being in the 40s and 50s in the next year, if not lower. I could definitely see it between the 40s and 50s. That part I'm very sure of. And then I could see natural gas plummeting dramatically too. And again, it's less about that. I don't know how Kobayashi's coming up with like the 2% number. I really don't give a shit about that. That's such a broad term. I mean, there's so many things that impact the rate of inflation depending on how you're weighing it. It could be so many things. The question is it perpetual? Is it one time? There's so many. Yeah, I'm not worried about inflation at all, not even remotely. And inflation that's good inflation because we're seeing increased demand because we're the greatest economy on earth. That's going to be the kind of inflation I want. Kyle Wright, Powell got us through the horrible Biden admin. We don't need him under Trump. I agree. And here's the thing. He was under Trump too, right? He was under Trump too. And then yeah, we got through Biden, and then now we are where we are. So whatever. Anyway, all right. I think I'm done for the day, guys. I went longer than I was thinking. I wasn't going to go for 2 hours and 40 minutes, but we've done that. So I think I'm gonna bow out now. I think today was a great day. If you bought the dip, I think it's going to treat you well. I think the VIX was probably just way too oversold. Let me look at that real quickly here. Let's see how that VIX was treated. And SoFi is down 9%, but it was down like 16. So you can't hate that. Let's look at the VIX real fast though. So yeah, the VIX went up, but again, we've looked at this before, guys, all the way back here, right? When you get these big, huge, massive spikes, you trade down for a long time, and you have little spikes in between, right? But you get lower and lower and lower and lower, and then eventually you get another big spike, and this one went into another big spike, and then you trade lower, 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 lower. This one was one big spike, you trade lower, 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 lower. One big spike, again, lower spike, and now we're getting a little bit of uptick because of just volatility, but the trend is down. It's probably down for years. Cracking me up with pronunciation, whatever. Kobayashi's, whatever. I don't give a shit. I really don't fucking care. Man, I bought 720 shares of NVIDIA. Cool, man. I hope it treats you well. All right, guys, I think I'm done. Again, don't fret over stupid shit. Don't be simple Jack and think that DeepSeek means that the U.S. is losing in AI. None of that's true. And don't worry about Colombia or Honduras or any of this other shit. None of that's true. There's just brief moments where narratives prevail. I don't even know where we'll be by the end of the day, but I know this. I feel really good about the purchases I made today. And I feel really good about the remainder of this week. And I can't wait to see you guys in earnings. And I got stuff going on. I might have to update you guys on my schedule. My wife has some medical stuff that she's getting checked out. I've got some stuff getting checked out. So if the schedule changes, I'll definitely let you know. But otherwise, I think it's good times ahead. Don't be a simple Jack. And I will talk to you guys later. Let's go out with a little bit of Trump in here because I think people need a little bit of that. Here we go. Peace out.
I got love for every nation. I got love for all races. I got love for all religions. Got love for so many places. No love for a politician, a congressman, or a senator. If the country that they put in first ain't the United States of America. No love for these politicians with corporate interests in other countries. Only one that I serve is God. I don't serve man, I don't serve money. No love for the people living in the USA, but always hating it. Got a lot I probably shouldn't say to y'all. Matter of fact, I'll just pray on it. I'm pro-life, pro-God, pro-gun. Not ashamed of it. Yo, worshiping bullets, yo, killing babies, mutilating children, yelling Satanists. Supporting the troops in their tour doesn't mean that you're supporting the war. Supporting the freedoms that they fighting for doesn't mean that you're supporting the gore. Supporting the country I live in and loving it doesn't mean blindly supporting the government. The world that we live in is trouble. They turn off the media. We should defund it. Supporting America for other nations does not make me a racist. If you like communism so much, I'll pay for your vacation. America first, the people are hurt. Got vets in the street with nothing to eat and nowhere to work. Sending our dollars overseas and funding these wars. No love for these politicians if they're not America first. America first. This country's protect their borders. It's not a controversial subject. I say cause the southern border, it seems to get people upset. I don't care what names you call me. We in $40 trillion of debt. Uncle Sam takes half your money, then you get a little refund check. I am America first. Kamala cares a better purse. I never sell out the people to raise my net worth. The Second Amendment is there to always protect my first. I'm a better rapper than Meg Thee Stallion, and I don't even have to curse. Let's keep the American dream alive and put an end to all the lies. BLM raised billions, and what did they do for black lives? Politicians promise you the whole world, then they backslide. What happened to Hunter's laptop? You know I'm most strapped up. Gun rights are human rights. Feminists been sold a lie. You can mess around and find out. Play stupid games with a stupid prize. God bless the whole USA, even the ones you hate me. Still fighting for you today, and no globalist hate me. America first, the people are hurt. Got vets in the street with nothing to eat and nowhere to work. Sending our dollars overseas and funding these wars. No love for these